Emerson Hancock's on the hill tonight for the Mariners. Game 1 of the series against the Padres starts at 6:40. You can hear pregame coverage beginning at 5:30 right here on Seattle Sports. And last night, Matt Brash struck out the side in a perfect 7th inning. That was down in Tacoma. He threw 15 pitches in his first rehab outing since being placed on the IL back on April 30th. Just to look around the AL West coming up tonight, the division-leading A's host the Giants at 6:40, and the Astros and Rangers will surprisingly meet for the first time this season. It's a 3-game series in Houston.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live inside Victory Hall on a kind of rainy Friday afternoon, but the good news is you guys are coming down to the game. Come on inside Victory Hall. I don't want to be outside today. Come here, come watch and listen to us, me, Dave Wyman, Ryan Rowland-Smith for a little bit. And Ryan, you have brought a guest.
Yes.
You brought a special guest here to join us.
That's right. My mom's here all the way from Australia, fresh off the plane, 13 hours, fresh out of the outback. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
And you made her listen to Wyman and I?
That's right. She's here. She's dialed in. I actually, matter of fact, I knew I was filling into that. I said, Mom, I said, hey, look, first game you're coming to on Friday. You got to come down here early. We've got a couple hours, Victory Hall, and as soon as I said we can hang out here, have a few drinks, have a few beers, she was all over it. Typical Australian. Typical Australian, you know what I mean?
Did you tell your mom that, like, you kind of run Seattle? Was she used to that Ryan Rowland-Smith's pretty much everywhere? He probably told her, like, I'm up on billboards. I know you were on the side of a truck at
I
one
said,
point.
you know, I was doing that at the, I picked her up from the airport, and I was, like, walking through the airport, like, you know, covering my face. She goes, what are you doing? I said, oh, people are going to recognize me, Mom. Like, she's like, no, they're not. No one cares, Ryan. I was like, oh, yeah, no, they do. I'm trying to impress. I'm trying to show off. But, no, obviously no one recognized me, but, yeah. I'm trying to act like they do.
We might see some Ryan Rowland-Smith fans, I will tell you. When the crowd comes in here a little bit later, there's going to be a ton of people who recognize him, and Wyman as well. So they're going to flock to this table. Come on out here. It's going to be a loaded show this afternoon. Getting you set for Game 1 of the series against the Padres. We have a guy who returns the show. Dave, he said he's only coming on because Ryan Rowland-Smith will be here. Paul Moyer will join us at 3.
Yes.
He's always excited to talk to you.
My favorite interview. Every time he jumps on.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job with baseball. He's very into it. He's got his little text thread. They're called Bandon Boys or something.
That's right. Yeah, he always references the text thread.
You call them the Abandoned Boys.
We call them
right?
the Abandoned Boys.
You know what's funny, too? I mean, when I jump on, Wyman and Bob, 3 o'clock every Monday afternoon, I get a chance. And I always say it's my favorite 20 minutes of the week, right? Bit of messing around. Well, Paul, I think I've told you this, too, Dave. Paul, it's like every time he calls in, you know, there's a bit of banter, a bit of messing around. I'm telling you, I'd never heard him talking football in the off season. And I'm driving along going, whoa, he's a different dude, man. He is like locked. He's serious. He knows his stuff. I'm like, oh, I need to pay attention more when he's speaking. My goodness.
That's how you'll learn. You'll learn
Yes,
the sport.
that's right.
We
It's
keep
kind of a
trying to
big
get him to
deal.
learn. Yeah. So that'll be at 3. We're going to do something slightly unconventional because at 5 o'clock we have Justin Hollander. So Mariners GM will come join us here live on set at Victory Hall. That's going to be a great conversation. A lot of key injury updates to get to with Justin Hollander. He'll give us some more insight on Cal, maybe Matt Brash, and some more things as he does at the start of every homestand. So Justin Hollander will be here at 5. Because of that, we're doing Mean Text a little bit earlier. I know, wow, chaos, crazy. I don't know if our Morans, Dave, will be ready for that. But, hey, the text line's going to have to wake up a little bit earlier. Mean Text at 4:15. Yes, we're going till 5:30 before Mariners pregame. Mean Text at 4:15. Ryan's smiling because he's going to leave at 4, and then he's sending in Mean Text on the way out of here.
I may have to stick. I got to prep for the game. I might have to stick around. It's my favorite segment. Anytime I'm filling in on a Friday, it's great.
Yeah, well, feel free, texters, to take shots at Ryan Rowland-Smith.
Hey,
you're not here.
I've had some strays. I've been driving on a Friday afternoon. I think I've joined you guys, called in for some reason on a Friday. Not even on the show. And then later on, I'm getting ripped. I'm like driving. I go, hold on a minute.
That's what I get for coming on the Wyman and Bob Show.
That's right.
Yeah, get ripped by the texters.
So there you go. Actually, I didn't even mention. So Charlie Furbush is going to be here at 4:30. He will be doing the interview with me and Wyman and Justin Hollander. So you get some pitcher-to-picture action there with Ryan Roland-Smith here until 4, Charlie at 4:30, and Justin Hollander at 5. And all of that to say, well, we got some Mariners baseball to talk about. They are back home after, kind of a strange road trip. I want to get both your guys' thoughts on this, where it didn't start off that well. You lose a series to the White Sox. It feels like that's kind of been a race, but how do you see this team, Ryan, coming back off a series win over the Astros?
First of all, they did salvage this road trip. Now, I was watching, obviously, last weekend and being in Chicago, and to me, this team in this first month or so, we know about coming out the gates, expectations through the roof. It's just been this bumpy, clunky start where it's been really streaky, and you're just waiting for, okay, how can we get all these pieces to start moving together, right? Brendan Donovan comes off the IL, great. Now all of a sudden he's in the lineup with Cal, Julio, and Josh Naylor the first time pretty much all year, where all of a sudden you got 1, 2, 3, 4 down the list. And so you're thinking to yourself, okay, now we're going to get something moving, a little bit more consistency. And then all of a sudden you go to Chicago, who, by the way, I mean, they're a way different team to what we're used to with this rebuild with the White Sox the last couple of years. They were tough.
Yeah.
And then they go to Houston and continue to dominate in Houston, which was nice. For me, looking at this team, this series against the Padres is from an offensive standpoint, you're running into tougher pitching. You're running into a way better back-end bullpen, way better starting pitching. Randy Vasquez is having a really good year. Not taking anything away from the offense, but you had some holes that you could take advantage of pitching in Chicago and in Houston as well. So this is going to be a really good test. Obviously, we're going to get more on Cal Raleigh, but Josh Naylor's starting to get over that. I've said this a million times. I was on with Charlie and Curtis earlier, and I think they're sick of me talking about the WBC, messing up dudes at the start of the year. I think Josh is well beyond that now. Obviously, Julio is as well. Obviously, Cal. Not so much, but Randy as well. So I think offensively they're in a good spot. But this is going to be a big test this weekend because they're up against different pitching.
Yeah, one of the things, and Mike was, asking the question here, what really stands out, and one of the things we talked a lot about was the bullpen, and really, I mean, I can't remember if this was Monday night or Tuesday night where it went Criswell, Bizzardo, and then Munoz, but it was like ground out, strikeout, ground out. I mean, I think they allowed 2 hits and 1 walk in 3 innings, and then I heard Gary Hill talking yesterday about going back to the 2020, was it 22 or 23 ALDS series against the Astros, that the bullpen's only allowed 3 runs against Houston. I mean, it's just to me, and that was something where you lose Ferrer for the paternity thing, then you had Spire down, you had Brash down, and to me, that's where I thought there was going to be a lot of disaster. And by the way, you're facing Alvarez and Altuve a lot of times for those bullpen arms. So I was very impressed by that. I don't know if that's the biggest thing, but to me, that's what kind of came out of that road trip.
Yeah, and man, I'm telling you, losing Matt Brash and Gabe Spire, look at this guy, okay, you are razor thin now. All of a sudden, we saw Ferrer having to go multiple innings, and you see Bizzardo having to go multiple innings. And yes, they're able to do that. But at some point, it's going to raise its ugly head in regards to covering innings. And you even noticed that too, Dave, with pushing the starters a little bit longer. Look, Bryce Miller, his first start back, he gets through 5. He goes back out for the 6th. I'm sitting there going, okay, I kind of get this because Ferrer's not even in the bull. I mean, he's off and on paternity leave. And I'm sitting there, okay, how are you going to cover these innings? Because you're really relying on Nick Davila, who was out taking photos with the family literally right before they went on the road, saying, I made my debut finally in the big leagues. Oh, hey, by the way, when you hit the road, you're going to be pitching high leverage situations. Welcome. Guess what? You're thrown straight to the wolves because they're so razor thin. And, man, they were really good. They really were, man. The fact that you can have these guys who have the ability to max effort, sit back down, come back out, in Ferrer and Bizzardo especially, and just cover that ground while you're waiting for, Matt Brash is hopefully, I don't know how quick they're going to push him. But, man, you got some holes, and I'm telling you, some guys have really stepped up. It was huge.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch, certainly. Can that be replicated? Because, hey, you might need him again. We know how close the Mariners like to play games. They played 17 one-run games already.
Right.
I won't mention the record, 6-11, but they played those close games. They play a lot of games.
You said you weren't going to mention it.
I know. I said it in that weird voice, so hopefully no one heard it. But they play a lot of close games. So, yeah, that bullpen, they came up huge on a couple of occasions against the Astros. How does that look against the Padres? Certainly will be a talking point. But, Ryan, the thing that really loomed over the series, Dave and I broke it down a little bit after the game, was Cal Raleigh. And it's, of course, a massive storyline around baseball. This is a guy that did everything that a catcher has never done before last year. He is, the de facto captain, as a lot of guys referred to him on the team after the news of him going on the IL yesterday. So with Cal on the IL, just how do you kind of feel about that? I know it was probably a tough battle to get him to say, all right, I do need to sit out finally.
Well, that's the hard thing, man. I keep I keep comparing him to and I'm not comparing them in regards to what they've done in their career or anything like that, but in regards to coming back and saying, look, I'm all good, and having that blue-collar character about them. Look, Cal, just be right, man. Before you come back, get that thing right. Look, he's good buddies with Luke Raley. He went through it last year. Those oblique injuries, they're tricky. To me, WBC, slow start, comes back, trying to play catch-up a little bit, and he took himself, or didn't take himself out of the lineup. They took him out of the lineup that one day, and all of a sudden he had a press conference the very next day talking about, I felt a little bit of this, and I was kind of shocked he was back in the lineup the next day. I'm sitting there going, oh, man. And I was talking to you guys on Monday just about the swing speed. Everything was down. He just wasn't going full tilt because he's trying to work around an injury. So I'm looking at this going, okay, blessing in disguise. I know it's not April, it's May. It's pushing towards that, the middle part of the season. Just get right. Even if it takes, people are not going to like this on your text line, but even if it takes up until the All-Star break, or whatever it takes, man, you need to slow him down because obviously he's a huge part of this team on both sides of the ball. I was shocked. I'm not saying I was shocked when he was back. I get it. But watching him in pain that one game when he tried to get that throw off and right before that, you've never really seen him like that on the field. No.
Yeah, that's the thing, we were talking about yesterday, that you've never seen him grimace.
Right.
Like, he was telling me, we talked about this yesterday, but still, I mean, he takes those, some of those shots like on the inside part of his thigh, and I told the story about how he showed me all of his bruises.
Right.
But usually what happens, that happens, or he gets nicked somewhere and he just kind of puts his head down, and then there's no expression. But to see him like actually wince in pain, that's the first time we've ever seen that out of him, right?
Well, we talked about it on Monday, Dave. You and I, like, you are going to be injured, right? Like, you're going to play through pain and everything else. You work around the injury, right? Especially with a swing too. We talked about it on Monday. Like, the swing path had changed a little bit. We talked about the max effort swings, those A swings, like the fast swing percentage was way down. And you look at that going, all right, it's obvious he's hurt. I mean, you see nationally people are trying to break down his swing and what's different to last year. No. The dude is playing through pain.
Right.
And then it took a situation where he's behind the plate where he kind of like, I think he's going for a ball got by him or whatever, and then trying to make that throw. It took that for Dan Wilson to say, get off the field.
Yeah, we talked about his pain threshold. I thought a couple of these were interesting, hearing from catchers that can kind of give a perspective, not just on the oblique, because, we joke about it, like, oh, oblique, what is that? But just kind of what it could do from a hitting standpoint and from a catching standpoint. So we had a couple of catchers weighing in on it. First was A.J. Przinsky on Foul Territory, just kind of explaining how painful it is, and it was for him trying to play through an oblique injury.
I strained my oblique once, and I tried to play through it. I made it a few games until finally I had a game again when I was with the Rangers, and I went up and we played the Red Sox, and I struck out 4 times and I couldn't swing. And our hitting coach, Dave Magadan's like, what the heck's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, my side's been hurting, but I can't swing. And they ended up putting me on the DL at the time, the next day, after getting an MRI and realizing how bad it was. So you can try to play through this, but especially for me, being a left-handed hitter and it was my right side, it's not easy to do, and it affects everything you do. Yes, could I probably have caught with it? Yes, but it wasn't comfortable. You couldn't run. You couldn't really. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to eat. It's hard to laugh. It's hard to do a lot of things. And I understand why Cal tried to gut through this. And he will not use this as an excuse for why he went 0 for 36. But trying to play through this is next to impossible. I don't think, unless you've done this in your life, you don't understand how hard it is to try to play through an oblique injury, because it affects every part of your life.
I have to say, I never for a second thought it was something in his head or psychological, just because he's too mentally tough. And I thought, that this was probably along the lines of, hey, he's just your whole as an athlete, if you sit down, every time you get, a little tiny tear or tweak or whatever, you're going to be, especially in football, you're going to be down every week. So, but yeah, for that, I mean, you look at all of the torque that's created from his lower body and then his upper body following through on a swing. And I mean, I don't think playing catcher really had any kind of a problem for him, but certainly at the plate, I mean, of course, that's why he's behind. It all kind of makes sense. So I think that's, and I'm almost glad, I don't want to say I'm glad he's hurt, but like of all of the other options, it could
100%.
be something in his mind or, something going on at home that's, bothering him or whatever. I would much rather it be something that you can treat and you can heal.
And look, the other part of this is too, he's coming off a historical year. You layer on the fact that what the starting pitchers say, when Cal's back there, we love having him catch and all that responsibility he takes on. Then he's the leader in the clubhouse. Then he misses spring training because of the World Baseball Classic, so he's playing catch up. You talk about the psychological side too. He's probably out there going, I can't sit this out. Like, I have to figure this out, and I just have to work around it. And then I guarantee you, a couple of days into being on the IL, it sucks. Like, sitting off to the side and you're just dying to get back in there. But I guarantee he's probably sitting there going, man, what was I thinking? Because I've had issues where, for me, like, I've had these chronic back issues. You just cannot fire the same. You feel fine, or it's just like, I'm just a little bit stiff. You just can't fire the same way. For me, it was like, I didn't want to tell anyone because I didn't want to get sent down. Him, it's different. He doesn't want to tell anyone because it's like, man, I need to be the dude from last year. Right. Our offense has been kind of doing this. We talked about this at the Open. Our offense has been inconsistent. I need to carry the load here, and then a couple days off.
Yeah, that's kind of what Alex Avila is alluding to here this morning on MLB Network, that Cal and catchers, sometimes are their own worst enemies at times.
Well, I think that was a big factor in it. I think he's been kind of dealing with this probably longer than people think, and just kind of trying to play through that. And that's something that you try to do sometimes as a catcher, at the detriment of your own, personal numbers, kind of playing through injuries, playing through things. But Cal's been logging the innings behind the plate for the last few years. I mean, he's always up there as far as most games caught, most innings caught behind the plate. But this, I think, could also be a good thing. It could be kind of a blessing in disguise where he can actually take some time away, not only get healthy, but then also kind of just reevaluate, make some adjustments at the plate.
Yeah, and that was a kind of a tense moment yesterday when Garver jammed his knee. We're like, oh my God, if that happens. And that, ends up hitting a dinger yesterday, and you see maybe his bat's starting to come around. But I don't really. That's a pretty good backup, don't you think, Mitch Garver? I mean, because Kirby loved him, and they work together a lot. I feel like he's maybe a step down from Cal, obviously, but I don't know. I have a lot of confidence in that guy.
Yeah, this last year too. Look, Mitch signed this deal to come to the Mariners, a 2-year deal to be the DH, and he hasn't admitted this, but he lost a little bit of that identity. The fact that you think about it, man, like. You go from being a catcher where you have all these meetings pregame, everything that Cal does with these pitchers, and you have that relationship with them. You also have a relationship with the pitching development / pitching coaches. You have a relationship with your manager from a defensive, carrying this pitching staff. That all gets taken away. Now you're a DH. I think the best thing they did was let him put the gear back on, because it gave him that sense of like, all right, I can go 0 for 4, but I'm still contributing, and that sense of worth, like I'm really contributing to this team. And they did that. And you mentioned, George Kirby loved throwing to him. They gave him George Kirby out the gates when he first got back into being the backup catcher. But what do you notice? Luis Castillo's getting the reps with him. I'm talking last year too. Brian Woo's had a handful of games with him now. So that speaks volumes, because they're going in there saying, hey, I love throwing to Mitch. They love throwing to Cal too. But now he's sitting in every one of those meetings. So, yeah, it's nice to have that. And let's not forget too, it was like, a week into spring training or right before spring training when he signed, he wasn't even in the plans.
Right. Yeah.
And then they say, hey, Mitch, we need you back. He said, let's go.
Well, to Cal's importance, I think it was Cal that kind of convinced him too, right? That Garver was talking to him, and it sounds like Cal's, of call him up, see what can get done, and that's proved to be vitally important. Yeah, we'll talk about Garver's impact with Castillo as well coming up at 2:30, because it sounds like those two figured something out yesterday. So maybe in the short term, it could be good for Garver and Castillo to work together. That's a whole nother conversation in and of itself. We'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, let's take two. Well, tonight, the first game of this 3-game series against the Padres. It's Emerson Hancock pitching for the first time since last Friday. So he's got 6 days off between starts. Randy Vasquez, Ryan, you mentioned him. He's the other starter tonight. Coincidentally, it was the same two that were pitching in Game 2 of that series back in San Diego when the Padres, they fell down 6-0 early, then had that 5-run ninth inning to win. So those two, Hancock and Vasquez, back out there tonight. Sounds like you mentioned something about Vasquez. He's been very effective
really good
this season.
Velocity's up. He worked out with Hugh Darvish in the offseason. Hugh Darvish kind of found some things for him in his own. Ruben Niebla does such a great job, the Padres pitching coach. He's so good to talk to. But, man, his velocity's up. He's got that vertical, ride on those pitches. He's getting way more swing and miss. He's going to be tough. Emerson Hancock on the other side. I was thinking about this. You mentioned Luis Castillo. Emerson had the last 3 years where he was always kind of auditioning. And then all of a sudden you could take a breath saying, okay, I'm not getting sent down, right? They're going to 6-man. However, all of a sudden Luis Castillo pitches pretty well. So now Emerson's probably sitting there going, well, one of us at some point, they're not going to keep the 6-man rotation. These games for Emerson Hancock right now, these next couple of starts, are going to be crucial, man. And I just hope, I love Emerson, love talking to him. I hope he's not going out there feeling like he has to be perfect every time out. Because last time out, lost some of that command in that third inning. You could see it, missing arm side a ton. But this is going to be a big couple starts for him and a tough series against the Padres.
Well, you guys are talking about the bullpen, and we can kind of dive into the potential impact of when and how Matt Brash gets back into the bullpen, because he did have his first rehab appearance last night in Tacoma, first since being put on the IL back on April 30th, which technically he would be eligible to be activated today. The 15 days are up. I assume we would have heard something by now. We will hear from Justin Hollander. I think he's speaking to the media around 4. He's then going to come talk with us live here on set at 5 o'clock. So we'll get some updates about Matt Brash. But Matt Brash striking out the side, having a perfect inning in Tacoma last night. Dave, how important is he going to be when he does get back into this bullpen?
Oh, he's huge. I mean, he's one of your high leverage arms out there, and he's just special. I feel like you got him and that slider that he throws that just entirely jams people up. And then you got Munoz coming in there and firing the heat. You like my Dave Valley impersonation there? He calls him Munoz. But, yeah, I mean, Matt Brash, Ryan, I mean, it just every time he gets up there, I feel like you could see something that's spectacular.
When he went down in Minnesota, I was like, oh, man, what is this? And he was emotional when he came out. The fact that they've already got him, and this is not a press the panic button because the bullpen's short. With Matt Brash coming off and Tommy John like he did last year, you are going to slow play him if it's something serious. So we're not going to know the full details. We never do. This is something that's like, hey, this is not serious at all. He should be back quick. But, man, does that bullpen need it, especially to, putting those fires out, man, a couple of runners on. He has been, honestly, this is the best version of Matt Brash. I said even coming off the TJ, the stuff was even better than before the Tommy John. Now, all of a sudden, he's got the command to go with it. He has been so good, and they need him back quickly.
Yeah, I think they're officially calling it right lat inflammation. So, yeah, to see Brash back out there and, hey, struck out the side last night in Tacoma, certainly a good sign, and we hope he gets back up here soon. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife, swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Well, yes, the conversation does get a little more difficult, but it's a good problem to have because we saw Bryce Miller make his season debut and Luis Castillo had a pretty solid outing as well last night. We'll dive into what that does for the Mariners moving forward. Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman, Ryan Rowland-Smith here with you. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates. Exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
One, Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill. What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
My first car sale was from Michigan. I get this lead. This guy had been looking for this very specific truck across the whole U.S., and he's concerned about rust. And I'm like, why don't we FaceTime? I will crawl beneath the truck. I literally was on my back beneath this vehicle, showing him all the welds that he wanted to see. He agreed, put down a deposit, held the truck, flew out that night from Michigan. I picked him up at the airport. He had his cashier's check. We went through everything, and that was my first car sale. So here's the catch. If you're willing to put a limit on what you're willing to do to be a good person, to help somebody out, or to help in the community, then that limit exists. So you don't. You just do what it takes to be the type of person you want to be and to help people like you hope that they would help you. And it doesn't matter. You just do what it takes.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Thinking about upgrading your water heater? Snohomish PUD can help. Right now, you can get $1,000 back when you install a qualifying heat pump water heater. These systems use far less energy than standard electric tanks, which means lower electric bills for you.
Oh, nice.
Choose an eligible model, apply for your rebate within 90 days, and get cash back from PUD. Learn more at snowpud.com/rebates.
Mariners and Padres tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5. Listen live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Woodworker, check. Metalworker or material handler, check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out video only.
Hello, my friends. It's the Graz here, encouraging you to golf local. Our region is blessed with a ton of golf that isn't very expensive and can accommodate all types of skill levels. Check out the premier courses at Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inter Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, or Walter Hall. You know, wherever you are in Western Washington, you're not far from a premier course. Why not book a tee time online or play Top Tracer at the range at Inter Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park? So what are you waiting for? Play the courses. Play Premier.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always had your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. You guys don't listen when I speak. I'm talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Roland Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
You see how your son treats us?
Wanted to play it for
He
you.
accused us of being like talking to a brick wall.
No. Look, that was taken. That was taken. It was basically more of me just rambling, and I'm like, they're probably just so checked out of whatever my answer was. Someone texted me, by the way, on Monday and was like, "Hey, man, you need to get tested. You need to take Adderall." Someone texted me that.
Yeah,
man.
I've been accused of that too. Sometimes I'll interrupt myself and go a different conversation way, and then people accuse me of that. So you're in good company.
It's like the Michael Scott. Have you seen The Office? You just start a thought, you lose it, and hope you find it along the way.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, since your mom is in town.
We spell it M-U-M, by the way.
Yeah.
I swear to God, we do. M-U-M.
Yeah. The accent's gotten a little heavier.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
With mom in town, definitely.
Fair enough.
You think so? Yeah.
I do.
All right.
Yeah, I remember when you came back from Australia, you could hear it.
Well, I actually called you guys. I called in when I was in Australia. I remember.
That might be why.
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend that used to work here, and she was from Long Island, and so when she would go home, she would come back, and it was like super heavy New York accent, and we called it Long Island instead of Long Island.
Yeah. Just good thing we don't have anyone from Boston that then comes on our show, and those accents are pretty bad. So all right, we don't have to worry about that. We got Ryan's opening because his mom is in town, so you get to hear it there. That is every Thursday or Monday at 3:00. You were just on Thursday, usually with Bump and Stacy. So that's what I was thinking. Ryan, you do a lot here. Thanks for hopping on. You do a lot with us. Yeah, we appreciate you. Well, now we need your insight on what could be. It's a difficult question, but difficult in a good way. It's because the Mariners had planned for the six-man rotation. We are now getting through that initial turn, through that six-man rotation with Bryce Miller having made his season debut on Wednesday. Luis Castillo pitched yesterday. They both were pretty solid. It's not like one of them went out and struggled that would make the decision easier. What did you make of Bryce Miller's season debut? What did you think how Castillo pitched, and kind of sum up what you think might be the path going forward?
I thought Bryce looked really good. I feel like, everyone talks about the velocity. I think Bryce is at his best when he is heavy usage of fastballs at the top of the strike zone. We didn't quite see that. There was a bit of a mixed bag, a lot of splits, a lot of sliders. I think he had that big punch out. I think it was Altuve with, his bases loaded. I'm telling you right now, I talked to James Paxton about this at the WBC. He had kind of come out of retirement to pitch for Team Canada.
That's right, yeah.
And it's one thing to be pitching, like at your local baseball facility, getting ready for and all of a sudden, man, the game sped up. Like he was pitching, and like there was stuff behind him. He threw a ball away, and so that first game back, it's always, man, it feels so quick. I think Bryce had a few moments where he was able to slow everything down and make some big outs, like he was 4 or 5 starts in. I thought he looked really good, and then Luis Castillo, I think, is now either in a situation where mentally it's a little bit different. Maybe there's a sense of urgency. He looked really good too. A lot of 96s, 98s. Hitter at the top of the zone. More change-ups. He looked really good.
I so wish he could have gotten the quality start there. Man, that was, he was rolling along. But do you think that's Castillo knowing, just kind of upping his game a little bit, because he knows that, you got the six-man rotation. Somebody may go to the bullpen. Do you think that he is? It's hard to get a read on him, Ryan.
Really is.
I don't know if you've talked to him much, but we don't obviously hear that much from him. And then going through a translator doesn't always convey, sort of what what feelings he has, and just that side of it.
Yeah, well, we've seen this from him before, because we always talk about how consistent he's been. Last couple of years, he's had these moments, like it was late last year, where especially on the road, he just couldn't get anyone out, couldn't get through these innings. You're like, what is going on? Then he does that post game. I know it's through a translator, it's a little bit different, but he just seems so chilled out. Like, yeah, I'm all good, just going to make a few pitches and I'm good. And I'm like, is that your demeanor? Because. No, it's a great thing, to be honest with you, because he's so even keel. This time, though, I think it's a little bit different because you do hear so much about, hey, look, Emerson Hancock is punching out 14 guys, then we have to make a decision right after that. And you're looking around going, well, Bryce Miller's coming back. I think it does generate, whether he will admit this, he will never admit it or not, a sense of urgency. And also, too, watching Luis Castillo give up that home run, I think it was in the second or third inning to Yordan Alvarez. To me, after that, when you see this presence from him where he's just got that recoil on the throw, he's bouncing off the mound, that's when he's not second-guessing what he's doing. You start to see more and more of that, like, oh, here it comes. All right, now we have it all of a sudden, where he's top of the strike zone, bouncing off the mound, a little bit more of that presence that we're used to seeing from him. And that's a great sign. But, man, the Mariners front office, look, they know way better than us because they've gone through every scenario. They're in a really tough spot how they're going to manage this, especially with some off days coming up.
Yeah, I think we should pin Hollander down, huh?
Yeah, I doubt he's going to tell us much. But yeah, one of the questions, I think I know the answer to this, but who do you think is the cockiest pitcher that has like in a good way?
Yeah,
that it has that kind of swag and just confidence.
Okay, I would.
Ryan's going to say himself.
Oh, yeah, me, of course. Yeah. Back when I used to throw 98 with a nasty split. No, I'm joking. I never did that. But I used to say George Kirby, right?
Yeah.
But I think Brian Wu has this thing about him, man, where, like, you watch him, he gets in a bit of a jam, and then all of a sudden there's not this we always watch in sport, right? If you're paying attention, you're really watching how these guys react. Logan Gilbert, anytime he's missing arm side up and away. I've spoken about it. You see he'd go up and he's frustrated. Even if he strikes someone out, sometimes he's still because he's perfectionist. Yeah. Brian Wu to me has this ability now, especially the last couple of years. Gets on the ropes, he starts nodding his head. He's kind of got this I'm all good, and it's like, man, it just changes. It's just this subconscious feeling with him going, nothing's wrong right now, even though you've just loaded the bases up. So I'm going to say Brian Wu.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that because I think Bryce Miller, just the way he behaves and just, what he says, and he just seems very, very confident. And like I said, not, cocky in a bad way, but in a good way. Because you have to have some of that, right? I mean, that's you're believing in yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah.
So we're in the situation now where, no real answers yet because supposedly there might be a piggyback situation or something happens. I mean, you look on MLB Network this morning, their solution was, well, it'll just resolve itself. Or people around baseball, well, it'll just resolve itself. But you're getting to a point where the rubber has met the road now. You're going to have to make a decision here. So if it's a piggyback situation, which seems like, again, it could be a short term, buy some time, what do you think about that the next time Castillo and Miller then pitch together on top of each other?
I don't like that at all. I told you guys that on Monday. It just never works out. It just simply never works out. You have a situation where they were willing to push Bryce Miller into that next inning. He'd gone 5. Then they're like, okay, you're back out there for the 6th to get some big outs. And he's first outing back. And there's reasons for that because they're seeing something from that top step of the dugout where they know the guy. You talked about his demeanor and his character. They're seeing something to say he's the best option in the 6th inning. You cannot all of a sudden start curbing performance. So, let's say Bryce goes, let's say you piggyback him. Bryce goes quick, first inning, second inning, third inning. You look at this, go, man, okay, we're kind of cruising here, 3 runs. We've got the bullpen shape. Oh, hey, by the way, we still have to somehow get 60 pitches out of Luis Castillo. You can't cram that in. It just never. And then guess what happens? Then all of a sudden Bryce goes 5 2/3 or whatever. Then all of a sudden you go to that bullpen because it's a 1-run game. And then you turn around to Luis Castillo. Oh, and by the way, his agent as well. He's like, hey, hang on a sec. You're paying him to be a lot of money to be a starting pitcher. You're not doing this right now. But there's so many other pieces that come in. I don't like the piggyback situation at all. Now, I was saying this as I was prepping for the game tonight, looking at Emerson Hancock, saying this is the first time, man, he's actually earned his way into a rotation. He hasn't done that the last couple of years because it's got to that point where someone's coming back and he starts trying to be perfect. But then I'm driving to the field today thinking, hang on a sec. No, don't give him any excuse right now because Luis Castillo is really good. Yeah. Just made it that much tougher. So if Emerson goes out, he's coming off a rough outing where he lost his command. He does that twice. All you're doing is justifying the fact that, hey, Emerson, hey, you pitched in the bullpen last year. How was that? Not to mention, he's not on a big free agent deal. He's under team control, which has some of that to do. So there's a lot of these factors, man. But look, anyone would do the same thing the Mariners are doing right now. There's really no clear-cut solution to how to handle this. And I guarantee you they've got 15 different scenarios they've gone over and over and over.
Well, Justin Hollander will join us at 5 o'clock. We can get his insight about the short-term plan and then maybe some options they're considering. He will join us here on set. We're live at Victory Hall until 5:30. A lot of good baseball conversation coming up the rest of the way. Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman, Ryan Rowland-Smith here with you. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Hey, one of the best parts of radio is getting to interview a lot of really interesting people who are at the very top of their profession. For example, Dr. Robert Moyer. He is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award, and we spoke about prostate cancer and effective ways to treat a diagnosis. And Dr. Moyer said many patients prefer Swedish CyberKnife because all it takes is 5 short treatments, each lasting about 45 minutes. Swedish CyberKnife can treat prostate cancer in 1 week with minimal interruption to a patient's life and work, and the side effects are minimal compared to other treatments. No surgery, it's non-invasive, and far less impact on your everyday functions. So Swedish has been offering the CyberKnife treatment right here in Seattle for over 10 years and treated over 1,000 prostate cancer patients, some of them listening right now. So if diagnosed with prostate cancer, learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer treatment at swedish.org/CyberKnife-prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch. There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
This Deere season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today to cars4kids.org. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS. Donation is super easy and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4 for kids to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
What does baseball and Klein Jewelers have in common? Diamonds, of course. Hi, Andy Klein here. Sure, we love baseball, but we love diamonds even more. Why? Because our diamonds sparkle and last longer than 9 innings. Every diamond is hand-selected for maximum brilliance, quality, and value. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds also has a big selection of engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond and gemstone fashion jewelry, and one-of-a-kind custom designs. Swing for the fences and shine with Klein.
Mariners and Padres tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5. Listen live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code SHOT to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar, never learn to play it, but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that but that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. At Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue, we've been serving the East Side for more than 24 years. We love serving our guests and creating wonderful memories. We also love serving the community, from local schools to amazing organizations like HopeLink, the American Cancer Society, Bellevue LifeSpring, and so many more. I want to thank you, our guests, for supporting Sea Star all these years, making it possible for us to serve and help those in need. Thank you. SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Hello, my friends. It's DeGraws here, encouraging you to golf local. Our region is blessed with a ton of golf that isn't very expensive and can accommodate all types of skill levels. Check out the premier courses at Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Interbay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, or Walter Hall. You know, wherever you are in Western Washington, you're not far from a premier course. Why not book a tee time online or play Top Tracer at the range at Interbay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park? So what are you waiting for? Play the courses. Play Premier.
Wyman and Bob. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We've got Mean Text coming up at 4:15. Yes, 4:15.
They'll never be able to handle that.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
They won't be able to handle that information.
Normally, we do make fun of our texters, Ryan, for being idiots because they never know when to text in on time. But this is a little unusual. Just, hey, when the interviews come, we're going to have Justin Hollander on at 5. So that's more important than all of you guys. I'm sorry. So 4:15 for Mean Texts. Ryan might stick around. Maybe he'll send some in on the way.
I might, actually. It's not a bad idea.
You know what I enjoy?
I think I would be able to tell which ones came from Ryan.
You think? Would they be spelled in Australian?
I think over the years,
By the way,
I know his sense of humor.
By the way, Dave's saying this with pizza sauce down his chin right now. He's just crushed about 2 large pizzas from Victory Hall.
Wyman barely made it back to this segment in time.
Oh, my God.
I thought you were sitting this segment out. He was going to sit at the table over there. Just
double fisting some pizza slices.
My ring just fell off because of all the grease on my hand.
It's all over his face.
He's not exaggerating either. He's actually
headsets.
I'm telling you what, the pizza here so underrated. Like
really?
It is delicious. It's really good. Really good. So
there's the best endorsement for the pizza here. So good it'll make your wedding ring fall off.
Must be a cheat day. Cheat day for day one.
Yeah.
See, that would be something you would text in.
That's a good one. I do enjoy that the Mariners are playing the Padres this weekend and tonight because, Dave, remember how we also named our
the Better Cup?
Well, no. Remember one of their relievers, Morajon.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, Morajon, their reliever.
Kind of sounds like moron.
Yeah, if you really over-enunciate it, it's Morajans, which are our texters here. So the Morajans.
Are you still getting Adam Ray text, or is he too big time?
Nah, he's too big time now. Yeah.
That's sad.
That is sad.
Yeah, he'll do it. He knows everybody, man. Like he knows Cal and Sam Darnold and he's best buddies.
He knows
with everyone,
man. He's big time.
Yeah.
I did notice a Italian area code
An
right
Italian
there
area code.
from a someone who's trying to. Maybe that's Bob Stoltz.
Bob Stoltz.
Sneaking in.
I was like, what is an Italian area code? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get to that at 4:15.
Italian area code.
Like,
Look.
what?
Is there like a little Italian flag
It's
there?
3 o'clock in the morning. He's sitting up waiting to text some stuff in because he's
still
missing you
awake at
guys.
3 a.m. Yeah. I mean, that's Bob's normal hours. We were joking. So Dave got a picture from Bob, and Bob was smiling in it, and I thought it was because the Mariners beat the Astros. Not that he was in Italy. Like, I wonder if Bob would be, because credit to him, how much he despises the Astros. I wonder if he would be on this wonderful vacation, but just absolutely miserable, had the Astros beaten the Mariners on that Monday night when he sent us the picture. So.
Yeah, well, he had a big smile. What did I say on Monday? He was doing street demonstrations of jiu-jitsu in Italy. So.
I think you said that today, too.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he was on the show on Monday, was he?
No,
so he probably hasn't heard that. He might get upset if I said
It's
that.
actually karate.
Karate. Yeah, that's right. Karate. Yeah.
I think Bob enjoys that because I enjoy it much. I think I'm really funny when I say the karate.
I love it.
So we'll get to all those at 4:15. But just, when you look at the Mariners and the record, obviously not where it needs to be, below 500 right now. But has the saving grace for them been just that the American League, I guess politely we'll call it mediocre, specifically the AL West. So does this below 500 record feel a little better when you look at the fact that the A's are just barely above 500 and they're in first place?
I just, first of all, when you look at the division, right, and everyone's like, you're so used to saying, well, Houston's going to be a factor. I think the Athletics present more of a problem, and so do the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros at this point. It's just hard to really rub off everything they've done in the last decade when you're thinking Houston Astros in the AL West. I still feel like this, too, though. When you're looking at baseball the last couple of years, the teams, like being that dominant, get off to this crazy start and go in 100 games, that's kind of out the window, right? Like, I feel like these teams just kind of like slow play it. I'm not saying the Mariners are trying to do that by any means. They've been like, bit by the injury bug and everything else. But from a league perspective, it's a situation now where you look around, it's not these teams that just go out the gates and just absolutely dominate, who are some of the favorites. Some of the mid-range teams, yes, and that bullpen starts to get worn thin right about mid-May, right about this point.
Yeah, Mike wrote an interesting thing here that I just have been thinking about, that, number one, you're not seeing – I mean, we talked about this yesterday, Mike. I think it was 8 innings was the most any pitcher has gone this year. I mean, it just seems like, number one, a rash of injuries. And then the other thing is you don't see anybody approaching or even thinking about throwing a complete game. And, I wonder if, the numbers just get higher and higher and higher. I mean, are we to the point where we're exceeding what a human being's body can handle?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, because, nobody was throwing, over 100, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Maybe. So, I mean...
Well, just speaking of that, and I was listening to Leo Mazzoni do an interview, who was the pitching coach for Bobby Cox for 2 decades. Mm-hmm. And he is extremely old school. So he has a big opinion talking about pitching now compared to what it was when he had those Braves rotations and some of the pitches that he dealt with. And talking about, back then it was, okay, you're going to go out and pitch. You're going to save something in the tank for when you get to that 90 pitch mark, 100 pitch mark, and push through. Now it's like, and by the way, too, I remember even when I was pitching, man, if you went 5 innings and that was it, you'd come back in. Like, even
you're ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you're like, man, like, sorry, fellas, I was on vacation out there. Like, I only went 5. Like, it just, and someone would come up and go, hey, man, hey, way to battle next time. That's how it was. Completely different now, man. You go 5 shutout, it's like all of a sudden you're dissecting this one at-bat you had in the second inning. It's just completely different. And on top of that, too, you're talking about hitting those thresholds, man. You've seen a couple of 105s out there, guys throwing 105. From what the human body is able to do, sure, you might see some records broken or whatever, but as you see that and you see more and more of a percentage of pitches pushed towards 100 miles an hour. Like, for example, I was sitting there with, my mum's over from Australia, and I'm like, everyone just throws 98. Like, Bryce Miller's like, yeah, I hit 98. I was trying to hit 99. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You did that 10 years ago? You were like, a flamethrower, and you just threw a bunch of... He threw 38% fastballs. Mm-hmm. And so I think that the higher percentage of people pushing towards 100 miles per hour and beyond, higher percentage of disposable pitches there will be in the league, and more pitches, because guess what, guys? You know what? Blow out, next guy up, which is really sad when you think about it.
Yeah, the news of Max Fried going on the IL, pretty relevant with what Dave just brought up. Well, I know this next guy is excited to talk to Ryan. I'm not sure if he cares to talk to you, Dave, or me, but Paul Moyer is back.
I'm only a lifelong
little
friend.
Hiatus. I know.
Yeah.
He's
he helps set me up with my wife. I mean,
but he's more excited to talk to Ryan.
I'm sure he's more excited to talk to Ryan.
Yeah, he talks to you all the time, right?
I'm excited to talk to Paul. It's been a while.
Yeah,
actually.
it has been. Paul Moyer will join us next here. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Cal to the IL.
Cal can't get off the throw, a little slip, and looked like Cal hurt himself.
A right oblique 10-day IL.
Insight and analysis, including the latest from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
Cal is very hard to sit down. He tries to play through anything.
At seattlesports.com.
He has obviously been playing with a little something.
One person you will be looking at to pick up that slack, and it's Julio.
I think it's kind of Josh Naylor time.
And the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Chris Canty here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that your fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, pricing valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with. Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now, Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to HarleyExteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
People can see through if it's not genuine. And it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting. Their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting, and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting, and they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners lineup is out before Game 1 of the series against the Padres. Good news for Julio and the Mariners. He's back in center field. Was the late scratch yesterday. He was the DH. He's back in center, batting second this afternoon. Johnny Pareda is catching and hitting ninth, and the rest kind of as usual for the Mariners. Looking around the AL West, the division-leading A's host the Giants tonight starting at 6:40. Astros and Rangers will meet for the first time this season with a 3-game series in Houston, and the Yankees have put Max Fried on the 15-day IL with a left elbow bone bruise.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom. A man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out.
Well, it's been a few weeks. We got him back, Dave.
That's actually a better opening than we have for Ryan Rollins.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think we got him back because Ryan Rowland-Smith is here. So, Paul, great to have you back on the show. And, yeah, you got a crew here. You got me, you got Wyman, you have Ryan Rowland-Smith here to talk to you today.
You got Ryan Rowland-Smith's mom as well.
Yeah,
that's right.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot for a guy with limited brain capacity here, but I'll do my best.
I thought you were talking about Dave. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's very funny, Mike. Look at Mike's. I got hit with a stray there.
I'm sorry, Dave.
It's mean text, and Mike's coming after me, Paul.
It's mean text, Paul, coming up later at 4:15. But, no, it is good to get you back on here. And, yeah, we'll start with some baseball questions, certainly, and then get your thoughts on the Seahawks schedule a little bit later as well, because that came out yesterday. But just, off the surface here, what do you think about the Mariners and Cal finally having to be put on the IL?
Well, I'm glad he's on the IL just because of what he does as a catcher and, switch hitter. Anything oblique is tough. It's nagging. I had a bit of an oblique issue my last year playing in the NFL, and it never healed. I was never 100%. And those are just one of those. You got to deal with it. So I'm just glad. I mean, look, he's had a tough year from the batting standpoint, and yet we're still in good shape. So let's get him healthy, and who knows how long that's been lingering. A guy like Cal, and Ryan knows better than all of us, a guy like Cal probably isn't even saying much. The trainers probably don't know completely. He's not one to complain. So it needs to be a real injury. So I'm glad he's getting a few days off.
Well, Paul, I kind of, compared it to, when Ty France kept getting hit in the hand. He kept saying, oh, I'm good. And his swing completely changed, right? And it's like, man, like Ty France, when he was at his peak, he was like a big part of this lineup, and great to see him back out there, but it just wasn't the same guy. You've dealt with an oblique before. How long, not saying you're going to, put your trainer hat on here, but obviously there's different degrees of, how bad this is. How long would you be comfortable until you see him in the lineup to say, you know what, he's going to be 100% where he can be productive again?
Yeah, I think for Cal, and it's going to be tough because I think this really is going to have to come from the medical staff. But as I mentioned, it never completely healed. It wasn't that I felt necessarily injured. I just wasn't 100%. You know, maybe I was 80 or 90%. And a lot of times you got to go. I mean, you're a professional athlete there. But you got Cal, where, you know, baseball, that is a long season. And in the position he plays, I think he has to get close to 100%, and maybe even 100%. That thing needs to be completely healed before I would let him back out. And, you know, his position obviously much different than Ty France. But the one thing we all know and again, I'm not just former athletes. That makes it sound like we're the only ones who know. But anybody who's had an injury, when you start playing with an injury, it starts affecting other parts of your body. And you all of a sudden you get another injury, another pull somewhere else, because you're trying to always compensate for it when your body's really not ready for that. So, you know, again, it's a long season. We're going to be in the hunt. No one's going to run away from the West, at least the teams that are in there other than the Mariners. So I think you play this one very cautious, because we have to have Cal. Cal's got to hit 35, 40 home runs for us to be a legit contender. He's got to, I'm not saying he didn't have to do what he did last year, but he's got to be the great catcher that he is. And we got to get obviously more production out of him.
Yeah. And, you know, I thought you brought up a good point that, you know, your body, even if you don't do it consciously, it finds other ways to turn on a fastball or reach for a ball or whatever. So, yeah, I think that – do you think that's 100%? I never thought it was anything like psychological that got in his brain. I thought it was more that he's injured and didn't know it. Do you think that's 100% why he went on that slump, is because of the mechanics?
Well, I don't know, but it certainly was pretty good timing on it, right? I mean, he was hurt before he went on this streak, or he was out for a bit. Didn't Luke Raley last year, didn't he have an oblique?
Yes. Yeah. And they're good buddies too, by the way, Cal and Luke. So I guarantee you Luke's in his head, saying, hey, look after this. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Paul.
And how long? I mean, Luke was out for a while too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he 6 weeks or more? I mean, it seemed like a long time. And, you know, look what Luke did last year. Now he's 100% healthy, and look at the kind of year he's having. So, look, the studies are there. It's just there's some injuries, particularly those soft tissue ones. You just have to be careful with it. And I don't think it is psychological. I think it's just the way our body fires and the way we overcompensate for things. And all of a sudden you're going, I'm not 100%, but I can play. I'm okay. And eventually it's like a rubber band. You stretch it enough times, it's going to break. And so, you know, this one, I just think you got to get him healthy. And so, again, I'm glad he's on there, because pulling him out, having him pull himself out, forget about it. You know he's not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, Paul, outside of Cal, what's kind of been the big topic of discussion in the much talked about here group chat? Dave still, I think, wishes he could be in it, or maybe he wishes he couldn't be in it or something.
I was bad luck. Bad luck. They tried me for one game, and we got smoked. So they're like, you're out. I'm like, good. That way I don't have to answer a bunch of texts.
With that being said, I would let Ryan in and to the group text. They would be pretty darn – they'd be excited about it. You know what's interesting?
You don't want any part of it, Ryan.
Would they abuse the privilege, though, Paul?
We talk about a lot of things. I'm going to go back to 1998, 9, whenever it was, and I was doing the post-game Mariner games. And I went down to the clubhouse, and Lou Piniella was down there doing a press conference. And I want to say it was Jose Mesa was the reliever, and he was struggling. And no one asked a question, and I decided, you know what, I'm not afraid to ask a question. I said, Lou, is Jose still your closer? After he kind of defended him. And he scolded me in a very nice way by saying, look, baseball is a long season. You know, you don't make decisions on a couple of games. You know, you stay the course on things. And the reason why I'm saying that is our Bandon boys, man, we live and die every game. I'm depressed when they lose. we're not going to make it. We're not the kind of team I thought we were. And then we go on a 2-game winning streak, win 3 out of 4 against Houston, and I go, we're back. We're back. We're good. We're the best team for sure in the AL West, and probably maybe top 3 still in the American League, and with the records, we pretty much are. So it's that kind of emotion on the Bandon Boy Tex. And I just look at us where we are with the injuries. We're missing 2 of our main closers, bullpen guys. Wade Cow, that's been tough. Donovan's been hurt. I mean, we've had a lot of injuries, and to make this thing still work and to be just a game back, you got to feel pretty good about where we are, because I think Oakland has played probably as well as they can play. We played as bad as we can play. I think the Rangers are what they are. So, yeah, I think we're okay. And I always say that because we won yesterday. So we're all in a happy mood. And so let's win again tonight, and we'll feel the same way.
I tell you what helps with Matt Brash coming back too, man. And that's a great sign, seeing the fact they've already thrown him into a AAA game. Hey, Paul, this whole 6-man rotation, someone's going to be the odd man out. I feel like there's no way, as much as I'd love to say, hey, everyone's happy, we're all good, we're pleasing everyone here for 6 guys, because, who do you see as being the weak link here? And I guess a lot of this, honestly, I said this early in the show, Emerson Hancock, this is a big outing for him. These next couple are couple big outings. But who do you, not your prediction, but how do you think they handle this?
Yeah, I think everybody who's listening right now is probably thinking I'm going to say Castillo. But, man, there's something about having a veteran guy. And I watched him yesterday. I've been listening to Dave lately. He's starting to influence by me by saying yesterday. And so yesterday, and his movement's still good. He was changing speeds a lot, and he's a veteran. He's a guy that doesn't get hurt. He's going to give you the innings. I think you just have to let this play out. Hancock has been spectacular, and that little slider or swerve or whatever you guys call it nowadays that moves about 18 feet to the left. It's an incredible pitch, and we'll see what teams start to see it more and more. He can consistently do that. I mean, Bryce Miller, what he did, that was spectacular. And I think we all thought it was possible, but he's way ahead of where I thought he would be after his first outing. So I think you got to play it out. And you know what? This is a good thing to have. We've got 6 legit starters here. I think Castillo's going to figure it out. He was even throwing 97 a bit yesterday, so I saw his velo go up. And Ryan, you tell me, we threw him 109 pitches or whatever the number was. Does this allow them, all of a sudden Logan Gilbert to get into maybe the 7th inning now? Because, he's a high pitch guy with his strikeouts. Do these guys go an extra inning, maybe save the bullpen a bit? Look, I know it's not the norm. Heck, the old days, you went with a 4-man rotation, and all of a sudden there was a 5-man rotation. Well, guess what? With the way these guys throw today, maybe the Mariners end up saying, you know what? Maybe the 6-man rotation is a way to save these guys, from getting injured and still keep the velocity that they're doing. But I think you have to play it out. I think you just say, look, let's just keep going for a while. If we get, what we got from Castillo yesterday and Bryce Miller, and everybody's throwing well, we'll address it then. But it's going to take care of itself. We're going to find out who the 5 best guys are. And I think right now what Dan has done and Jerry DiPoto has said, look, competition is real. We're not here to, save anybody's feelings here. The odd man out will probably go into the bullpen, and let's address this thing when we need to.
Yeah, I think that the competition part, I love that. I just can't. I have a hard time taking away those extra outings from 3 guys in regards to Wu, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby. Not because, from a personal standpoint, 25 starts is a lot different to 30 starts, but just from a value standpoint, like, are you willing to remove, let's say they kept a 6-man rotation for a few months, are you willing to lose, say 3 to 4 outings per starter? That's close to 10 games worth of outings, 10 minimum, of guys who are just front line. I just have a tough time with that. Having them skip outings when the value is so high from having those guys pitch every 5th day. And on the other side of this is like routine. It just completely changes your routine. So It's something. I love the competition aspect. And again, to my point with Emerson Hancock tonight, man, this is going to be interesting to see how he looks, because you do not want to. I've been in that situation where you are close to being the odd man out. They're going to make a decision, and you feel like every pitch is so magnified, and man, the pressure can break you a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see how he looks tonight.
Yeah, I think the routine part, you know that better than anybody, as a pitcher, and I get it. Pitchers are a bit like quarterbacks. It's not that we have to coddle them, but, they're a different breed. You can't create too much competition to them. They want to know that they're going out there every day, and I get it. It's a different kind of pressure. At the same time, what I would say is, let's say we go a month into this thing and we win, I don't know, 20 out of 30 games, and it's working.
Yeah.
And everybody, all the starters are going 6 innings because they had that extra day's rest. And we all know when you got a fresh arm, you can pump up the volume a little bit more. It's like anything with running or, whatever sport you're playing when you feel a little more fresh. But I think it's just going to take care of itself. Somebody's going to rise to the top. Somebody's going to all of a sudden have, inflammation in their elbow or shoulder and needs to go on IL. I mean, to keep all these guys healthy is really difficult. I was telling the Bandit boys yesterday, if Castillo's our sixth pitcher, there's no one in Major League Baseball who has that. I mean, they would die to have Castillo, even though he's struggled. You would love to have a guy who's going to give you close to 200 innings, and maybe he's lights out, I don't want to say lights out. He gives you a good outing, 3-4 times out of 5, starts. You take that as your last starter on there. So, again, I think this thing will take care of itself. I think the guy that's a bummer, because if you're in any other team probably or any other year, I mean, what Kate Anderson's doing down in AA is remarkable. I want to see what it does to potentially AAA in the Major League Baseball. I'm sure that's a little bit of a jump. But any other time, because here's a guy who's played 4 legit years in college baseball. He's played at the highest level there in the SEC. He's been, he's as ready as you're going to get as anybody when you draft. You're probably bringing him up here, right around the All-Star break at the latest. And with 6 guys now, I mean, and you tell me, Ryan, I mean, he's pretty much down in the minors for the year, isn't he?
I think so, because, man, at some point, maybe he comes out a bit, and then you do that, you've just got so many different options. He's even putting them in a tough spot. But, look, I keep going back to this, 10 to 15 years, it's a situation where you had to literally stick it out for an entire year. You had to get through those dog days of summer. You had to show that on start number 25, you were still durable and the stuff still played. Now it's like, oh, no, on paper he looks good. He's punching tickets. His K rate's this. Up he goes. It's so different. That's from A ball to AA to AAA up into the big league. So be interesting to see how they play him as well.
Yeah, we've got a few young guys, Colt Emerson obviously being one of them too, that, it's just a numbers game, and it's tough to unseat some of these veterans, especially on a team that's a contender. But there's some special young men down in the minors right now that I think everybody would love to see get an opportunity at some point this year.
All right, Moyer, I made Ryan Rowland-Smith watch the schedule release video, and he was slightly amused, I think.
That was great. I loved it. Yeah.
So did you see it, Paul?
No, I didn't. I saw you either was on a text or something where you said something, but I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they did the video release and for the season. Is that something that's like exciting to you? I think somebody asked me that today. I did a XM radio interview earlier today, and they were asking me about, the schedule and everything, and I'm like, I look at it just like a player does. That's why I don't get all excited for the release date, is because it's like, what's the first game? And then after that, and I do this all the time. Ryan, you'll like this. I ask the players for the Seahawks, I'll just randomly ask them, who do you guys play the week after this? 90% of the time they don't know.
Right.
Because they're so focused in. So I'm kind of that just next game up. But what about you? Are you excited when the apparently you're not excited about the video because I told you to watch the video and you didn't watch it.
I did watch the video. It was a little interesting. I saw the Las Vegas Raider one. I thought that was actually pretty
Step Brothers. Yeah, that was funny.
That was cute. But we're stepbrother kind of guys. So I like when the schedule comes out. The first thing I look for, because my wife always wants to know, when's the bye week? So we know that's week 11. I want to know, are we playing on Christmas or Thanksgiving? We are, which messes with my travel schedule a little bit. But other than that, I do have fun going through and saying, okay, win, loss. What's my thoughts there? I think we're definitely going to be 3-0. And then, the schedule's not an easy schedule. It's also not, the hardest schedule for a Super Bowl champion. And that's usually because of the division that rotates around on the AFC and NFC that dictates that. But it's a tough schedule. I mean, last year, I think at the bye week, I thought we would have 1 or 2 losses, or at least I thought it was legitimately possible. And we were pretty close to that one. I think this one, it's just going to be tougher. We're going to get the best of everybody this year. Everybody has studied us in the off season. There's not one coach that does not have a pretty good feel for what we do defensively and what we're going to do offensively. So, we're going to have our A game. And you don't know with injuries. I mean, everybody says, we're going to win 13, 14 games again. Injuries matter. What I like about our team and the reason why I think we will have that opportunity to win, 13, 14 games again is I just think it's our depth. I look at the Rams. The Rams did some really cool things in the offseason. They shored up their secondary, but they don't have a lot of depth. They get a couple of key injuries, and they're in trouble. And so in this league, that. I mean, injuries really do dictate, how you play out the season, and your schedule matters. When you play teams, whether they're healthy, whether they're hot. But I think it's a good one. I like, that we finished 2 out of 3 against the Rams. I know a lot of people don't like that because we wait so long to play them, but. You're getting into playoff territory, kind of what we did last year. When we played, the 49ers and the Rams toward the end of the season, I thought we were battle-tested, ready to go. So the only disappointment for me, Dave, is no overseas game. I was kind of hoping to, tag along an extra week somewhere and do some vacationing, but not happening.
Yeah, I was okay with that. I was okay with that. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool that the NFL just everything they do is like magic. I mean, you got the draft is a big deal, which I still don't understand the draft. People, hundreds of thousands of people standing in like a parking lot watching kids walk across the stage. I mean, why can't you watch that on your TV? Or just let it happen and go back and look. That one is a mystery to me. But, it's kind of a big deal, and I would recommend for anybody listening, we're going to talk about it, at 4 o'clock, Mike? Or
the schedule?
Yeah, the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are a lot of really clever, media people out there that are putting together all of these, different ways to reveal the schedule. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Aren't we talking about the schedule right now? So what you're saying is this part's not important. At 4 o'clock, the schedule gets important. You're going to bring on people that really understand it.
No, I'll tell you what, Paul, Dave really got into it. I think he watched every schedule release video. So we're going to break down the best, the
I
worst,
watched everyone
funniest.
that we are playing.
Oh, okay.
Is what I did. Because I'm sorry, I can't do 32 of them.
No, that's still impressive.
Some of them were stupid. So, yeah.
We're going to talk about that, Paul. But no, thanks for hopping back on.
But by the way, meanwhile, I just got added to the Band and Boys chat. I'm just getting spammed every 2 seconds of just randomness. I'm just sitting there, my phone's freezing up because all the rubbish on the text
That's the experience I had, too. Yeah.
Man.
I was on a plane the other day, and one of the flight attendants came up and brought up the Bandon boys and then said, how are we going to fix the Mariners? They must have gotten swept or something by Kansas City at that point. And so, yes, there's a following for the Bandon boys.
Wow.
I need to find a way to monetize it, but
you
but
need
it's
a
been
logo
good.
or something.
You need the Bandon Boys official podcast, Paul.
That's
So
right.
when you do that, give us a cut. But thanks for joining us. I can't wait to talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Pleasure as always, Ryan. You know it's always a pleasure hanging out with you.
You too, buddy.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, there's our guy, Paul Moyer. Good Mariners and schedule insight as well. Coming up, we're going to kind of talk about what to expect from this Padres team now a month later. The Mariners saw them about a month ago. It's a Padres team that in some ways is similar and in a few aspects pretty different. So this Mariners team, this Padres team, they'll meet for the first of 3 games coming up at 6:40 tonight. We'll break it all down here. Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman, Ryan Rowland-Smith here with you. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Hon, is your new pinball machine in our budget?
KeyBank will meet you in that our money is now our money moment.
Actually, our banker Steve recommended we start a joint checking account for bills and keep our individual accounts for things like, pinball machines.
Did someone say Banker Steve? I was in the neighborhood, in case you had any checking account questions.
Steve, you're always there for us. Now, how quickly can we open that account?
Steve, are you seeing this?
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Mariners and Padres tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5. Listen live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are live here at Victory Hall. If you're on your way down to the game, come on inside. It's cold, windy, maybe raining still. Don't know why you want to be out there. So if you're outside, come on inside. Or if you're driving down, come inside, hang out with us. Ryan Rowland-Smith's here. Dave Wyman's here. I'm here. And I did notice, I was walking back across the front of this here building at Victory Hall, looked across the street. There are hundreds and hundreds of people in line right now. And I was like, wait, what is happening? Why are there so many people in line?
Giveaway?
It is the Hello Kitty crossbody bag giveaway, something I'm sure you two are very excited about.
I've already reserved 4 of them.
Oh, for your kids? And
yeah. No, actually, nieces and nephews apparently wanted them. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
So
I'm not really even sure what it is. I mean, I can see that it's a bag.
Yeah, it goes across your body.
But it goes across the body?
And it's
yeah,
clear.
I don't think that's my style.
So you can wear it into the park. You can put, like, your little purse or wallet in there. And yeah. Put it on, Dave.
Well, let's give it a whirl. We've got some cables in there.
Yeah, ours comes with some cables if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't really know. I've heard of Hello Kitty, but I don't really know. Is it a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you exactly?
Here,
What is
here's the
Hello
strap.
Kitty? God, I sound old right now.
Well, we should be asking Brenna Rogers because she has.
Well, her kids love it.
young
I think
children.
They're gonna
So-
get this. Do you want to put this on to model and just see how it would fit on
No,
you?
I think it would look better on you, Mike.
All right.
Okay.
So
it would look more appropriate
I'm
on
not sure how you.
By the way, speaking
I'm not
of
sure how you wear it across your
stuff
body.
that kids are into and whatever, it was probably this time
there it
last
is.
year. We're playing the Mets, and Rick Riz was jumped out on the TV side, and they're showing Bluey everywhere, and I was like, oh, that's Bluey. And he looked at me, and now usually Rick Riz is never lost for words, and
Yes.
usually he has some response. I said, yeah, Bluey. I looked at him, he looked at me.
Got nothing.
What's a Bluey? I'm like, Bluey the dog?
Yeah.
And I was blown away. I was like, are you the only one who doesn't know about Bluey? But yeah. And then it created a whole thing on social media. But now I'm lost for words now. Hello Kitty.
Well, that was like, remember, we didn't know who there was someone famous in the Seahawks schedule release video, and we didn't know who it was. We knew we should have known.
Oh,
and then
was
you
that
figured it out.
the model guy?
Yeah, Pearson Fody or something. I'm sure I didn't say his name right, but that guy.
Yeah.
And we were just like, yep, we're pretty sure that's someone famous. And then
Right.
Dave was the one who found it out. Dave, the bastion of pop culture. over
Dave,
there.
yeah, of all people. I just typed into Google and it showed me the way. But yeah, I mean, real quick on those schedule releases. Here's what I don't like: when you try to be too clever and you try to be too nuanced. So, and we'll talk about it. But I know Mike liked the Chargers one. I hated
Did
it.
not like it.
It was Halo, and there were all these inside jokes that were like flashing. You had to have like ADD to watch this thing and get it. And so, and there was a kind of a reference like that when that Fode guy says something about the Chicago Bears are thinking about moving to Indiana, and so he said, "Yeah, smells like Indiana." So, and I don't think most people would get that. So, yeah, there were more than enough like vague references that you had to really be dialed in on something.
I know we need to move on here, but and again, I'm back on the old man spiel. But
Here we go. I like it. It's my wheelhouse.
Good fodder for mean text. Coming up 4:15.
Nothing against the Major League celebrity softball game. Man, I'm like, like half these people. I'm like, who are these people? And they're all influencers. Like you got to. You mentioned some of the references and the inside, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be dialed in on social media to know exactly who these people are. I'm like, and they got 50 million followers or whatever. I don't know if that's a lot now, but wow, man, it's tough to keep up with.
So
anyway, Mike, Mike's just shaking his head right now.
No, I'm saying it's good fodder for mean text coming up at 4:15. So if you want to text in and make fun of us for being old, 866-979-3776. We will get to those at 4:15. Wait, you peeking? You have the text line, right?
Well, they're giving us the answer of Hello Kitty, the origins, 1974. The 707. Hello Kitty's a Japanese. Yeah, that's true.
That's an Italian area code. I mean, I don't know if you trust that.
Yeah. That's right.
Then we'll get to mean text at 4:15, but we're talking about Hello Kitty to derail us at the start of this because it is the giveaway tonight. So it's the promotional giveaway. If you're coming down to the Mariners game, start of the series against the Padres. We saw how good this Padres team was last time, about a month ago. They swept the Mariners. That bullpen was filthy. It was lights out for the Padres. Ryan, when you look at that, knowing how good that bullpen is, what do you need to see out of the Mariners to kind of mitigate the impact that the bullpen will have?
Well, I said this about coming off the road trip. They took advantage of, first of all, Amai. We saw him, the Japanese starter from the Houston Astros. He doesn't know what planet he's on at the moment. He's struggling. They threw him out against the Mariners like, thank you, because we saw what he did here in T-Mobile, and he said the mound was too hard under his feet or whatever. It's like, all right. So I think the difference is here, coming off that road trip into this scenario, the Padres offensively, they're about 20th overall with some of these categories.
Yeah.
Pitching wise, you look at some of the ERAs, especially you mentioned the bullpen. The ERA in the bullpen's nothing great, but the back end, you're talking Adam, Mason Miller, Jeremiah Estrada, who's been way better all of a sudden. They've got some weapons, man, that can just shut down a game. And so it's going to be a different scenario than what we saw in this last road trip, these last 7 games. Can this offense get away from this streakiness and all of a sudden do some damage against a way better pitcher we're going to see this weekend?
Particularly the Astros series, I thought going into that, we're like, oh man, I mean, Ferrer is a high leverage guy. He had the paternity leave, and then you had, of course, Spire and Brash out, and I think. Do you think we'll look back on that series? I mean, they really saved this team and helped them, significantly win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, well, man, I was
very encouraged by that, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's been some efforts in this bullpen, and I said this in spring training. I felt like as spring training was wrapping up, they're a man short in the bullpen. In other words, okay, you've got Gabe, Spy, Matt Brash, Munoz, awesome, really good, but some of these other spots where you have to fill, and knowing that Dan Wilson, especially in April and May, is not going to push these guys hard, where Munoz is going to go back to back to back or whatever it may be. Even if he goes back to back, he's probably going to get a couple days and so on. Matt Brash, the same thing. And now all of a sudden you lose Gabe Spire and Matt Brash, and Ferrer's, the fact he can go multiple innings, now some of these other guys are stepping up. I have been in this situation where you are trying to get yourself into a high leverage spot. So there's some openings for whether it be a Hoppy, Davila, who's now with the team. Hey, soak it up, man. Use these opportunities while you can before Matt Brash comes back and goes Spire to get something. Criswell even too, sort of resurrecting his career. It was a starter, man. He's been really good in those tight spots.
And I know it seems like this series will probably play out very close, low-scoring games, back and forth. You know, you never really know how it'll play out, but wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to a bullpen game again down the stretch with those high leverage innings. All those guys you talked about, you get in that situation. Dave, you were talking about someone like Davila or Criswell. I think we probably feel a little more comfortable now if they have to go out and go in the 6th or go in the 7th because, you know, Ferrer is back, but you guys just mentioned it. You don't have Brash. You don't have Spire. Munoz, you can't pitch every day. He can pitch a couple of days in a row, but if it's Sunday, you're not going to pitch Munoz 3 games in a row perhaps. So these guys probably gives you a little bit more confidence with someone that you just saw maybe in the Astros series.
Yeah, I mean, Hoppy, you mentioned him just now. I mean, he that was unbelievable what he did in the 7th and 8th. And, you know, ground out, line out, strikeout, line out, fly out, strikeout. Man, I mean, he just was like, who's this guy? Yeah. So, you know, like you said, you're getting a lot out of those guys, Ryan, that, you know, are they're going to have those spots filled. And hopefully it all times out with Cal's injury and, you know, the certain players coming around. In the meantime, you know, you have guys like Josh Naylor hitting the ball really hard, and same thing with Julio with the fast start. I think that might be that was maybe one of the biggest question marks we had coming into the season. Is Julio finally going to figure it out in the beginning of the season? And he has.
Keep in mind, too, the Padres are one of the second best team when you're talking about run differential late in games. They've been putting up offensively again, man. There's some guys who are struggling. Manny Machado's been messing with his hands back and forth trying to get his season going. Fernando Tatis hasn't even hit a home run yet. The power is not quite there. Jackson Merrill's having a rough third season after signing a huge extension. They've got some issues, but man, they are doing some damage 7th inning or later. So it'll be a huge test for that bullpen too. Some guys who, again, first time, you mentioned Hoppy as well, facing some guys who can do some damage as well.
Yeah, it seemed like, you know, I saw Ramon Laureano, and I was like, God, I hate that guy. He was awesome against us, and I looked at his batting average is 214, and apparently he just got really hot against the Mariners.
Well, we just got.
It seemed like that's how it went with that San Diego series.
Yeah, that was such a strange series, especially that second game. So hopefully you move past that. But the Mariners, you know, they just got done with the Astros, took 3 of 4 from Houston. We are not done with the Astros, though. We're going to go back to an Astro-related connection for our Wyman coming up next. You're listening to Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
It's Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now, Harley Exteriors. I recently sat down with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with on window and door replacements, and Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio door or entry door, 12-month and 18-month, no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project. So if that isn't enough to get you started on your new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. You can call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, price and valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Michelle Smallman here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Get down with Casey and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Hello, my friends. It's the Graz here, encouraging you to golf local. Our region is blessed with a ton of golf that isn't very expensive and can accommodate all types of skill levels. Check out the premier courses at Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Interbay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, or Walter Hall. You know, wherever you are in Western Washington, you're not far from a premier course. Why not book a tee time online or play Top Tracer at the range at Interbay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park? So what are you waiting for? Play the courses. Play Premier.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Listen every day to the Bump and Stacy Show for headline rewrites. Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services. Security systems and fire alarms for every business. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Hey, Mike Salk here for all my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And the show lineup is pretty sick. You like comedy? Chris Tucker, Friday, June 26th. And David Spade on Saturday, August 15th. For music, Hinder is going to be here Friday, July 3rd. And then a little country music, Mitchell Tenpenny on Friday, July 10th. You can go to snocasino.com for all those details. Remember, it's Seattle's closest. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Moyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Moyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Hear that? That's the sound of a car rolling into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. The sound of another savvy driver getting an oil change from trained pros. The sound of not having to leave your car while we quickly change your oil. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no hassle with appointments or dealer wait times. That's one smart bell.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper. What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Wyman of the Week.
Wyman is presented by Mazda of Everett, and a guy that, I don't know, maybe it's old age. You know, you guys said you get grumpy with old age, or he's just a little clueless, and I feel bad saying this because of what he's meant to Major League Baseball throughout his career. But Dusty Baker, over the last few years, ever since he became manager of the Astros, like that created this weird effect that became unlikable. And it's continued post-Astros career. You know, he came on, and we played comments years ago, him getting mad that people were still booing like a year or two after COVID when fans didn't get a boo because of the scandal from 2017. He didn't get it. Well, it sounds like he still doesn't get it because Dusty Baker was on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and he still can't quite grasp why Astros players are getting booed for the trash can scandal.
The Astros, usually you don't inherit a championship team like that. And it was, I was like, well, this is sent from above. You know what I mean? And I knew I had a chance to win. I didn't care about the scandal because I wasn't there. And I just told them, hey, man, I asked the world to forgive them. And because the hardest thing in the world is for people to forgive each other, but everybody's quick to throw stones, And so I got there. One of the best things that happened to me when I got there was the fact that we had COVID. And we didn't have to deal with the fans and the booing and the jeers. And
just get back to baseball.
Yeah, and then, the guy that took the brunt of it was really, Jose Altuve, and he was the most innocent dude there. And, that, really affected me how he was
treated.
Yeah. I mean, all over everywhere. And he didn't deserve it.
They're all complicit.
He didn't, Jose Altuve. What he called him there.
They're all complicit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why I continue to bang the drum on that is because I like riling up Bob, because he hates the Astros, and and he truly does. And he loves it when people boo him and everything. But yeah, I mean, I just think Dusty, I really respect him. I just think he should probably be quiet about that, because you did have COVID, and you didn't have to, deal with all the fans who were fresh off of that, And so, we talked to Marco Gonzalez one time about that, and this is where it really, hit home with me. He was saying, first of all, I think it's the biggest mystery in all of sports is what pitch is coming next. There's no other bit of intel that you could have about another team in any sport other than that. And people are like, well, you still got to hit the ball. Well, look, man, if you know what's coming, that's the biggest thing. And Marco was telling us that's everything for me, man. I mean, I don't have 102 miles an hour. I have, sneaky stuff, and it's everything to me.
Yeah, I think Dusty Baker, walked in, and he walked into a clubhouse with a bunch of, when you go to the animal shelter and they're all, kind of. Yeah, some dogs have been bad, right? Out in the public, and they're in an animal shelter. Nothing against the dogs, right? At all. Who rescues animals and whatever. That's all good. Yeah. But you walk in there, and they've all got that sad puppy face on them, as if to say, "Hey, we're just ball players, and we're just trying to, blah blah." And so he walked in there. By the way, Dusty Baker, one of the nicest guys on the planet, man. Yeah. He's very just transparent and open to speak his opinion. He wants everyone to get along and everything else. And the thing is, too, just with Altuve in particular, man, I've talked to some people. There's still a 50-50 opinion out there that he was doing something, he wasn't doing something. But even in Astroland.
How he would have known, right? He would have known that his teammates were. So for Dusty to say that, that's where it lost me.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, he's completely
remember,
innocent.
he came into a situation where A.J. Hinch gone. Yeah. He comes in. And from his point of view, he's like, hey, I just want to win baseball games, everything. I've got these guys who probably are about to cop the brunt of it. They know that. So think about the interaction he had with those players compared to 12 months before that. Completely different. And so I think he's looking at it through that lens, which obviously skews his view a little bit. I still love they get booed, and other teams, they get booed, Yeah. That's part of baseball now. It really is.
It's great, yeah. I love that it's kind of a bonding experience, because now no matter what team they go to, that fan base will boo them. George Springer went to the Blue Jays. He's still getting booed when he shows up here or everywhere else. You have all their other guys. Correa went to the Twins. He was getting booed. So, yeah, that's going to linger because it's one of the most noteworthy scandals in modern baseball. You could go back a long time to the Black Sox scandal, but, talking about the last 10 years, the Astros, they won a World Series, came out that they were cheating during that World Series. Yes, that's going to be a big deal. I know Dusty Baker wasn't there, but comes off a little tone deaf, that he's like, I didn't affect me. I don't know why people are mad. They shouldn't be mad. Get over it. So he's a fun topic to kind of keep
By the
throwing
way,
out there.
speaking of Bob Stelton, who's over in Italy, probably listening at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
sending in.
definitely listening.
If you want to get him fired up, just reminds him that none of the players, and this is what hurts around the baseball community, were penalized.
No, he knows.
None of them were
He's
suspended.
well aware, yeah.
Still the same amount of pay, everything. Guess who lost their job? A.J. Hinch. Go on.
Well, that's why Dusty Baker, it's like, all right, just be quiet, Dusty, because none of the players were punished. And Alex Bregman was not contrite. We saw that press conference. So I do want to move on to this because it's hilarious. This was the first round of the PGA Championship yesterday. So it's going on right now. They have it on a few TVs here at Victory Hall if you want to come down and watch. But one of the golfers, Garrick Higo, great name, would have finished tied for the lead after round 1. He shot a 67, except he actually finished with a 69 because he was assessed a 2-shot penalty on the first hole for showing up late to his tee time. Okay, it happens maybe, but then afterwards, he took no accountability for being late.
I always cut it pretty fine. There's a lot of us who do. We don't want to get to the tee box 10 minutes early and be cold. We have to hit it far and straight. It's our job to do that. I don't really think it's my job to be 10 minutes early. So obviously cut it too fine. I thought I still had a few minutes. I didn't have my watch or my phone on me, and my caddy was dropping off my TrackMan. So went to the putting green, hit one putt, and then heard my name and ran down.
Wow. By the way, he's 27 years old.
Well,
classic youth.
The other part of it, though.
Oh no, I was going to say he's old enough to have some accountability.
No, I think that's a little Gen Z-ish. So.
Well, the other part of it is he's basically saying, well, you were supposed to be there, and technically I wasn't there. But then he comes back and he's like, but I wasn't late.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were late. The end. That's it.
Yeah.
And so he kept talking his way back into it. And I was sorry, and my caddy was yelling at me. But then I heard a different clip somewhere where he was just going, yeah, but I wasn't late. I'm like, you were late.
Right.
You were late. The end. And so he just kept talking himself into it, and it was quite hilarious to sit there and watch somebody just try to BS you, right to your face. I mean, if I was in the crowd there where, with all the reporters, I would have had a smile on my face and shaking my head like, no. By the way, never late. 9 years in the NFL, I was never late, ever. One time, I was in Kirkland. I was probably 5 miles from the facility. I woke up at 9:20, had a 9:30 meeting. I broke every law you could to get there because I just was never late. Now,
Dave, you might lose respect for me here. Day 1, 18 years old of spring training in the United States. Day 1 of being in the country.
Yeah.
Myself and Travis Blackley, former Mariner, another Australian, slept through our alarm, sprinted. It was raining in Peoria, Arizona. And by the way, this is before.
Does your mom know this story?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
She's heard so many random stories.
Yeah.
We sprinted. I think I just put on shorts and a shirt, sprinted across. Mike Goff, he was the farm director. Oh, man, I thought I was getting released that day.
Yeah.
It was scary. First day in another country. I'm 18 years old, jet lagged. We both sprinting across, me and Blackley looking at each other. Day 1, man, everyone's already in there doing their physicals and everything, and we're like, oh, excuse me, sir. Like, this is something.
They're like, get a load of this guy.
Man.
I bet you were never late again after that.
Never late again.
Yeah.
It was scary.
He was on time today, and now we have to let him go. He's got to be on time for his other duties. Ryan,
Right.
you got some TV duties coming up tonight.
Yeah,
Where are
I'm
you gonna
excited to be back in the
Pregame,
booth.
On the
It's
game.
been a while, yeah.
And then Sunday
Yeah,
as well?
I'm doing Sunday Night Baseball.
Sunday Night Baseball.
Baseball.
Big
There
time.
we go.
On
Peacock.
Peacock. Mariners, Padres. So, Ryan, thanks for joining us for a couple hours. Everyone
Thanks for
watch
having
him
me.
tonight. And Ryan will be back on Monday, 3 o'clock, the best segment in radio, his favorite 20 minutes of the week. But until then, our thanks to Ryan. Dave and I will come back and talk about those schedule release videos that Wyman so thoroughly and thoughtfully broke down. We'll break all those down next year. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Cal to the IL.
Cal can't get off the throw, a little slip, and looked like Cal hurt himself.
A right oblique 10-day IL.
Insight and analysis, including the latest from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
Cal is very hard to sit down. He tries to play through anything.
At seattlesports.com.
He has obviously been playing with a little something.
One person you will be looking at to pick up that slack, and it's Julio.
I think it's kind of Josh any other time.
And the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have
have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
My first car sale was from Michigan. I get this lead. This guy had been looking for this very specific truck across the whole U.S., and he's concerned about rust. And I'm like, why don't we FaceTime? I will crawl beneath the truck. I literally was on my back beneath this vehicle, showing him all the welds that he wanted to see. He agreed, put down a deposit, held the truck, flew out that night from Michigan. I picked him up at the airport. He had his cashier's check. We went through everything, and that was my first car sale. So here's the catch. If you're willing to put a limit on what you're willing to do to be a good person, to help somebody out, or to help in the community, then that limit exists. So you don't. You just do what it takes to be the type of person you want to be and to help people like you hope that they would help you. And it doesn't matter. You just do what it takes.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up and test your luck for a chance to win up to $10,000 in cash. That's right, folks. Every Saturday in May from 7 p.m. till midnight, there'll be two winners every hour. Pick the lucky rubber ducky and walk away with 10 grand. It's Duck Duck Win. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Stacy here for ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. ARC boats are easy to operate with significantly less maintenance and service. Book a demo just like I did. They'll pick you up if you can't make it to Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. That's arcboats.com/demo.
John Curley here. This baseball season, step up to the plate and get the price of a new heating and cooling system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure. Don't wait. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'll put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our kids zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com
or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Game one of the series between the Mariners and the Padres coming up at 6:40. Pregame coverage begins right here at 5:30 on Seattle Sports. Emerson Hancock on the hill for the Mariners, Randy Vasquez for the Padres. And some newsy-ish items from our writer, Zach Harrith of Seattle Sports. He reports that Victor Robles and Matt Brash, still both currently on the IL, are in the Mariners clubhouse today. Brash last night struck out the side in a perfect 7th inning in Tacoma. He threw 15 pitches in his first rehab outing since being placed on the IL on April 30th. And just taking a look around the AL West, the division-leading A's host the Giants tonight at 6:40, and the Astros and Rangers will meet for the first time this season with a 3-game series in Houston.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. We're live from Victory Hall. We have Justin Hollander joining us here at 5 o'clock. He'll be right here on set, so stay tuned for that if you're here. Stay around, listen to that. If you're on your way down, come on out here because Mariners GM Justin Hollander will join us at 5 o'clock. Charlie Furbush is going to pop over at 4:30. We got everyone. We had Ryan Rowland-Smith for a couple hours. Charlie Furbush going to slide in here at 4:30. We also have Mean Tex coming up at 4:15. Said it couldn't be done. They said it was too revolutionary and too controversial, Dave. But 4:15, so that's this segment, about 10 minutes away from Mean Text. I don't know if the Morans are ready. We'll see what they can come up with, though.
Yeah, there's a few good ones here that I'm just trying to collect here. But yeah, not bad. They can adapt.
They can adapt. We'll see. Yeah. All right. We appreciate all the mean texts that come in. If you still want to get some in, you got a few minutes. 866-979-3776. But something that happened yesterday that I think you were a little, lukewarm on, the schedule release videos. I mean, at first you wanted the schedule itself. You said, give me that paper version. Yeah. I don't care about any of the videos. Then you had some time. You kind of dug into them, and you came here today excited. I was like, all right, let's discuss. Let's rank. Let's talk about the funny ones, the ones that you didn't like. I can maybe explain some of the elements you might have missed. But, yeah, Dave Wyman fully jumped into the NFL schedule release videos. What were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mostly just looked at the teams that were playing. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Seahawk one I thought was really good. Just the part where Nick Ebenwari flashes in there. Yeah. And it's like, you smell like bleep. I just love that. I love that kid. He was a huge part of it. A.J. Barner was a big part of it. There were some let me ask you this, Mike.
Yeah.
And here's where I think we differ. I don't like the ones that are too, nuanced and trying to be too clever. And I told you last night, I felt like if they were on American Idol, Simon Cowell would say self-indulgent. Okay, don't try to make it so like I'm so clever. So the Los Angeles Charger one, I didn't get that. I saw a few of the references, but it was based on Halo, right? The game that people, video
but then
game.
The references itself were team specific. It's just you kind of had to really look. They were very nuanced. And
it flashed by.
Yeah, you had to be very online.
You had to pause.
You did, yeah.
Right?
Or almost watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is what they hope for, I think.
Right. So, I mean, that one, everybody said they crushed it. And okay, maybe they were the most, clever. But then, you got everything from, the Colts who did the Simpsons. Mm-hmm. The Homer Simpson thing. The one I thought was maybe the meanest was the Saints. They did a weather reporter.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay.
Yeah, and they were talking about all the different cities, and they were talking about the weather report, it was in Arizona, and they were saying disorganized disturbance. Nothing fully develops there and things like that. They made fun of Skyline Chili in Cincinnati. So, that one was probably the meanest. I think the one that was like the least thought put into it was the Panthers. They just blew stuff up. Do you remember SCTV? Second City TV with John Candy? They had like a whole segment where they made fun of these two hillbillies that were sitting around talking about movies, and they would go, "That blowed up real good. Did you see that blow up?" And that's what they did. They blew up opposing, like for New Orleans, they had a bunch of the necklaces that they throw during the parade and all that. They blew that up. They blew up, like a statue of whatever the team's mascot was, and it was just blowing things up.
So, did you see the Cardinals video? That seemed to be the consensus most hated because it was just kind of a pure AI-generated, very lazily done schedule release.
Yeah, Arizona was, and it was heavy on the mascot thing. Yeah, that was nonsense. Yeah,
good. Glad you agree. So you have good taste then.
That was not
when
good.
It comes to schedule releases. But you're right. They're on the extremes. You had the extreme of the Chargers and even the Colts and your Simpsons one. They had some references hidden in there, but the Chargers was very extreme on that side. That's kind of what they live for. Then at the other end of this complex and very simple spectrum here were the Raiders, which is still very entertaining. So I think you do get a different mindset of it. Now, when we were talking about this, I thought you didn't like it at first because you said watching Kirk Cousins act is painful.
Yeah, he wasn't good. I thought Mendoza was actually pretty decent. But, but I like that. I don't mind that one. The other one that was really good, and I know it got high praise, was Atlanta.
Yep.
Atlanta did kind of a office linebacker type of format where they're interviewing people in an office and they're saying, well, this guy does this. It was kind of in that regard. And then if you look at Matt Ryan and watch him in that, he's actually a really good actor. He did a really good job with it, but that's where, I think that's where it fell short for the Raiders and the Step Brothers thing is that Kirk Cousins especially couldn't really pull that off.
Yeah. What did you think about Titans? Man on the Street. That's kind of been their theme, Man on the Street.
Titans is always good.
You go to Broadway in Nashville, you get all these characters down there.
Yeah, so they were going around, and so for each team, like they saw an old guy that looked like Jerry Jones, and so for that, they would say, "Hey, are you Jerry Jones?" and talk to him.
British.
And then, and he was from England, but then, then they show the obviously the reference and why they bring it up, and then they show the date of the game and everything. So I thought that was good. They always do a good job, and they did some funny things. There was just like that big kind of fat guy that had like a sleeveless T-shirt on, and they thought it was Dan Campbell. And so they're, "Hey, Dan." So and then they do a side-by-side thing. I thought that was pretty cool. Here's a sleeper, a couple of sleepers here. The Jets. I know there was no acting, there was nothing. All there was a palette of paint, and it had like either 2 or 3 blobs, and whoever the person was that was over it, you couldn't see it, you just saw the hands, would combine the colors on this palette to make it into, whatever color the team is. Like that Jets green or, Philadelphia is a little bit different. And they did it perfectly. And then they swiped it off and then put the logo in there and, what team it was. But you could see them, like, building the, like, turquoise for Miami.
Yeah.
And it was kind of mindless. And, there was no talking, nothing. But it was kind of cool to watch them combine the paint and try to predict which team are they, because I didn't know what their schedule was. So I'd say that's a sleeper. The other one, Roma Dunze. He did an awesome job doing, what's the guy's name, the painter?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Yeah. And so he had the big afro. And so he's sitting there painting and he's talking like him. And he's like, this will be fun. Just sit back and enjoy it with this calm voice. And then he is, in the meanwhile, painting every, mascot that they're playing on this painting. So I thought that was very clever. And the other one that was just kind of stupid, but I was like, I still think it's funny. Just watching it was the Patriots, the roller coaster. They have a video on their players going through these roller coasters, and they're screaming and yelling and everything. And then there was a part where they pause and Drake May is walking away from like, the arcade where you go there and throw baseballs at bottles and stuff. And he's got like 3 or 4 big stuffed animals that he won. That was kind of cool. But there were some that were really stupid. But for the most part, your Kansas City Chiefs had Rob Riggle in an infomercial. Did you see that one at all?
A little bit. Some of them do get to be too much. There's
too
32
long.
of them.
It was like 8 minutes.
Skip through this. Yeah.
Yeah. So but that was funny. The other one that I thought was funny too was I didn't know who the rapper Rick Ross was. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but all the players were told to go see Mr. Ross, who's the owner.
The Dolphins.
Of the Dolphins, and so they had to walk up and then go, "Oh, it's him!" Not and that was kind of a funny reaction because it looked like they truly were reacting.
Yeah.
They were shocked by that, so they thought they had to go see the owner. So I think that there were some good ones and bad ones, but I'm starting to enjoy it, and I think it's going to get more competitive. I think
it's turned into an elite event.
Yeah.
For all these social media teams, and it's kind of become a cottage industry. People then write up stories on it. The Athletic, I was going to get to this now. Good timing here to kind of break this down because you kind of gave your unofficial rankings, but the Athletic power ranked all the schedule release videos 1 through 32, and then they broke them down into 5 categories: elite, nearly elite, great, average, and skippable.
Okay.
Can you guess who was in skippable? There's only 2. Two are in skippable.
One would be Detroit.
No.
Really?
Not Detroit.
Because they just did a very short, bland one.
Sometimes that's okay, though. They were lumped in a big group of average. By far, the biggest was average. So Detroit overall, according to The Athletic, they ranked theirs 22nd.
Okay.
It's the aforementioned Cardinals.
Yeah.
The very worst one. And then the Ravens, which I didn't see, so I guess I'm glad because it says it's skippable.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you watched that one.
I didn't see
Sounds
the
like you
Ravens.
did. On the other end, you had mostly very elite taste day because they ranked 4 as the best. I feel like you can kind of identify a good chunk of these if you want to take a guess at the 4 top schedule release videos according to The Athletic.
Well, maybe Atlanta would be one.
No, Atlanta's 9, nearly elite.
Okay. Indianapolis.
Yep, that's 4.
Yeah.
There are 3 ahead of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't
The
know.
Seahawks, number 3.
Good. I'm glad they
So
put
they
them in there.
ascended to the tier of elite alongside the 2 that kind of have become a dynasty when it comes to the unofficial sport of schedule release
Right.
videos. It's the Titans and then your hated Chargers. Which consensus people appreciate it because it's for an online crowd. You know, if you're very online, there are a lot of the references you get, so people enjoyed that, the creativity. We can walk through it after the show, kind of point by point, show why it was funny. Nothing better than explaining the funny away, right? But there was the Chargers, Titans, Seahawks, Colts.
Well, and the reason why I say self-indulgent is because I feel like it's more for them and not for, the viewers and the people that are watching it. But apparently, according to you, Mike, I mean, there's lots of people out there that love that kind of stuff. So, I just think for certain, maybe if you grew up in like the Halo, I remember my son playing Halo, and he was big into that. Maybe I'll have to ask him if he liked that one. But yeah, I mean, there were some, like I said, a couple of the sleepers were the Jets and Chicago. The Jets one is just kind of mindless, but it's kind of fun to watch this. It goes in fast motion, and they mix the paint on a palette. So I thought that was kind of clever. I thought the Dallas one was absurd.
Yeah.
The Tyler takeover. Yeah, I watched only.
I tried to watch
that one.
I skipped through that one.
Yeah, because I tried to watch every team that we played.
It's admirable.
And got a chance to do that. But, I'm glad to hear that the Seahawks were up there because it was really funny. A.J. Barner was hilarious and really funny. Remember in the beginning where he goes, "Wake up."
Yeah.
It's like you would see in in some kind of a perfume commercial.
Yeah.
And then he's got the fur coat and the cowboy hat. It was good stuff.
All right, well, we are going to do it. 4:15. I know it's unconventional, but it's time for Mean Texts. its way over at 5 o'clock. A lot still to get to. Wyman and Bob here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Woodworker, check. Metalworker or material handler, check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with 0 alcohol, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Rich Eisen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Play with purpose, compete fairly, track progress. Michael Bumpus here. A golf handicap does more than just keep score. It helps you enjoy the game more. 1, it helps you set goals that match your actual skill level. 2, it makes competition fun and fair no matter who you're playing with. And 3, it lets you track your progress so you can measure improvement over time. It only takes 3 18-hole rounds to establish your handicap index. Just sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and get started. Learn more at wagolf.org/710.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. NA member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer at Swedish called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Moyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center with the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest. Dr. Moyer, is CyberKnife a new treatment?
You know, the CyberKnife technology is not new. The system has been around for more than a decade and has helped thousands of men with prostate cancer.
What can patients expect from CyberKnife treatment?
Well, the CyberKnife system is designed to help you gain control over your prostate cancer in the shortest number of treatments, and with the least impact on your romantic life and on your urinary and bowel function. The result? Well, you get back to a normal, healthy life faster.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. It's Dave Wyman and Charlie Furbush joining us. We've kind of gone with an all-pitcher lineup today at the righty, going to the lefty here. Please tell me that Ryan Rowland-Smith was right-handed, right?
What do you mean?
He was a righty?
What?
Righty pitcher?
No.
He was a lefty?
You're kidding me?
Ryan Rowland-Smith?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he was a righty. I never saw video or anything of him.
You thought he was right-handed.
Huh?
You thought he was right-handed.
He thought he was right-handed?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. No way.
You told me, Charlie, only like 10% of the people
it's like
in the country are left-handed, so I thought I'd have a good shot.
In the world.
I never even, he's such a great personality and everything. I'm like, I didn't really look at his career that much, but.
Do I seem left-handed to you?
You do seem left-handed, a little quirky.
For sure.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe I would think most of us lefties stick out, but apparently Ryan has some right-handed vibes, according to you.
Yeah, apparently. Here's what we're doing right now. Charlie, you're jumping in here for a couple segments. We're going to get a chance to talk to Justin Hollander at 5 o'clock. Lefko has head across the street to go do the pregame show. And hopefully he'll be able to make it through all the people standing in line for a Hello Kitty clear backpack. That is crazy. The giveaway today is that.
I mean, the Mariners do some pretty cool giveaways, and this is just another one, right? Another one that drew a ton of attention. Look at this thing.
Yeah. We have one here. If you're on the stream, you can see this. But, it's I don't know why that's such a big deal, but apparently it is because, I mean, people are lined up around the corner all the way to the back of the stadium. So, yeah.
I love it.
That's big.
And they're here for the Mariners.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, tell us about, the big topic, obviously, this week is Cal Raleigh. And we've talked a little bit about him. I thought we had a kind of an interesting conversation with Paul Moyer, who is a big Mariners fan, but he also had like an oblique injury when he was when he was playing in the NFL in his last year. But the one thing that he brought up that I think that we haven't really talked about that much is that your body compensates, right? Now, if you have something that's weak or injured or whatever, you're going to compensate with all kinds of different muscles and things like that just to try to block it. And so it just seems to me that like the hardest thing in any sport is to hit, to be a big league hitter that can, hit 300. I mean, that's elite.
The rarity these days.
Yeah, it's elite. And, there's all the stuff that's going on in your mind. You're trying to recognize the pitch and all that stuff. But the mechanism, your body is failing you. And it seems to me that, like, that's where that 0 for 38 streak came from. Would you agree?
A little bit, maybe. But I'd say the pitching these days, it's not easy to hit. As you mentioned, all these numbers are down. And everyone seemingly is throwing 95 plus. So you get into these relievers that are throwing upper 90s into 100s. It makes it incredibly difficult, and that has gotten even more so these days. So yes, I think that's part of it. But if you are dealing with injuries and you're dealing with something that you feel as if you can get through, and when you play 162 games in 186 days, it is a lot. And I know from your perspective too, playing football, how many days are you feeling 100%, right? You're kind of feeling beat up the whole time. Yeah. And there is a version of that, not nearly as much as football, but in baseball, just the wear and tear. And you're trying to just manage that as best you can to try and do what you can that night. And like you said, sometimes your body takes over in ways to protect itself subconsciously. Yeah. So now that Cal is dealing with this oblique, they know what it is. They can rest. They can recover. It's going to be kind of this touch and go thing to see where he's at, and hopefully that he's at a place where you get the inflammation out, you do the strengthening back, you start testing a little bit, and the true test will be once you start doing some full max swings, full max throws, and doing movements that kind of put you in the best position to be successful. But it's going to be difficult for a little while to manage because Cal is such an important part of this lineup.
Was there a rash of oblique injuries when you played? I mean, it just seems like it's a fairly, maybe we just called it something different, but I know that, playing 9 years in the NFL, I never heard anybody complain about an oblique.
Yeah, I think it's more for rotational athletes. I think you'll see it more in not so much in pitchers. It does happen more so in hitters, golfers. I think even hockey players, right? There's this oblique motion, and I think when you look at the advancement of training and athletics and where everyone's at these days, some of these muscles start becoming really fast twitch, and I would look at the oblique as like a fast twitch type muscle, allowing yourself from the core aspect as a hit from hitting, right? It's like, I'm going to have to fire that oblique to open up my hips to get to that pitch inside. And when someone's throwing 98, you got to do that really, really fast. So you do that too many times in a row, and it, just gets you a little bit. And as we've heard from other people that have dealt with this, you want to make sure you take care of it once and don't have to deal with it again.
Yeah, and that's probably the hardest part. And I think Cal's, he's all about being tough, right? He's a catcher. He squats, for 160 games a year, and I mean, he's always getting hit with pitches and things like that. So, he's taught to ignore that pain, but I think it was to his detriment, right? Because you're so timed up. It seems like your body, your muscles firing at the right time, and if you have something that's not working, then it's just there's no way you're going to be able to get through that. What do you think happens with the rotation now? What do you think about the Luis Castillo's performance? And I was so hoping he could get a quality start, get that last batter out, but couldn't do it. So he goes 5 2/3, but has a pretty good outing. The thing Mike and I talked about going into that game was I hope that he muddies the water. So, because it's a good problem to have, right? You've got a lot of different choices that you can do, but what do you think about what they're doing with the rotation right now, and especially if it's just temporary?
Yeah, I think the 6-man rotation is an option in some way, shape, or form, especially knowing what they're dealing with and the history of, honestly, what Luis Castillo has meant to this team, right? I think now with the addition of Bryce Miller and seeing that first few innings, upper 90s, 99, just absolutely firing it. And I think that when you look back at the 2024 version of Bryce Miller, if the Mariners can get that again, they would take that all day. So when you look at the 6-man rotation, I think the one advantage that maybe isn't talked about as much is just trying to navigate it so everyone stays healthy. Look at what happened last year. The rotation got hurt. Maybe having a few more days of rest here and there can actually keep people healthy longer over the course of the season, as opposed to trying to deal with everything and pitch every 5 days. So maybe there's that side of things, that they can navigate the schedule and they can navigate the games they're going to play, and hopefully there isn't a revolving door of players down in the bullpen if games go wrong. Or I just think it's going to be interesting to see how that works, and maybe there's situations where a guy gets his start is skipped that week, right? And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But you're right. You have a problem, or don't have a bad problem to have, because you have starting pitching depth, and this is just something the Mariners are going to have to figure out this year.
All right. Well, we always talk about, how, and it almost makes the pitchers sound like they're mentally fragile, because it's like, oh, you're going to screw up his days in between. Is it that much of a ritual for those starters of, every, 5-6 days or whatever the time period is between games? Is that big of a deal, or can they adapt pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think you can adapt pretty quickly, but you build these, I think, just from a personal standpoint of a career and what you want to do and try and accomplish. As a starting pitcher, you want to throw 200 innings. You want to get 30 starts. And if you are in a 6-man rotation, then you're maybe taking that ability away. And if you're a really, really good starting pitcher and you have the ability to do that, and I think there's a few guys in this Mariners rotation that can do that, that maybe that's, is that the value, or is that the value you're sacrificing at the end of the day? So I think performance at the end of the day will be the biggest indicator, right? If the starters aren't pitching well, or one of them isn't pitching well, and obviously right now Castillo has been kind of not up to his standards. It was a great game that he pitched yesterday, and I think that if there's more of that, then I think you can roll with it. I think there's ways to figure it out and keep everyone happy, if you will.
Yeah. Well, we got Charlie Furbush in here, and later on, we're going to have Justin Hollander on the show. Get a chance to, so get your questions ready, and you can actually text them in if you want some ideas. 866-979-3776. Coming up, what happened to Mitch Garver during an awkward attempt to catch a foul ball yesterday? We'll hear all about that from him when we sweep the dial. You're listening to Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. For 24 years, my team and I at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar have called Bellevue home. We serve fresh, locally sourced seafood, farm fresh produce and poultry, and great steaks. At Sea Star, we like to say there's something for everyone, from the carnivore to the pescatarian to the vegetarian. Come see for yourself at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue. SeaStarRestaurant.com, SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ooh. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877-POST.
carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Saving energy simplified. Snohomish PUD's Rebate Center is your one-stop hub for cash back on energy-efficient upgrades, from heat pump water heaters to all-in-one washer-dryer combos. Whether you're planning a project or already made an upgrade in the last 90 days, the Rebate Center helps you check eligibility, submit receipts, and track your rebate status all in one place. Visit snowpud.com/rebates.
Hey, Mike Salk here for all my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And the show lineup is pretty sick. You like comedy? Chris Tucker, Friday, June 26th. And David Spade on Saturday, August 15th. For music, Hinder is going to be here Friday, July 3rd. And then a little country music, Mitchell Tenpenny on Friday, July 10th. You can go to snocasino.com for all those details. Remember, it's Seattle's closest. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack and a $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
The Mariners are currently down 1 catcher. So you can imagine there was some panic upon seeing Mitch Garver have an awkward slide to try and catch a foul ball late in the game yesterday, then come up grimacing afterwards. Sounds like all is good, though, as Garver explained postgame.
It wasn't my most graceful moment. I just jammed up my back. There's nothing with my knee or anything. But yeah, I just jammed up my back a little bit, so we should be fine.
Not the most graceful move there, Mitch. Yeah, that was, I think that put the fear in a lot of people's hearts when, you know, Cal's banged up. I don't think we knew at that point that he was going to the injured list.
He may have known that morning.
Yeah, I think we knew. Okay, yeah. You're right. So you see that, and then all of a sudden you see him look like he expected to slide, and he just caught something or whatever, and you're like, oh no, because he kind of grimaced a little bit too. Sounds like it's just his back, but I was very relieved to see him do the post game on TV, because I'm like, oh, okay, that means he's okay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes we. I wasn't the most graceful either myself. Some may have called me a newborn moose running. So,
who was that?
Oh, all my friends growing up.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. I was not so graceful when it came to running. Oh, look at that! I just shrunk myself.
Just broke his chair.
Really did.
Sweeping the dial.
Now, this was earlier in the week after Julio's huge game on Monday against the Astros. Still pretty relevant, though, for his start to the season. Trevor Plouffe and Chris Rose on the Baseball Today podcast, they were dissecting Julio's season so far and why he probably at the end of the year will be very high in the MVP race.
Is this the year that Julio Rodriguez is like MVP 2? This is a fantastic start for Julio Rodriguez, and you know what he's going to do over the summer.
Yeah, usually.
He's gotten up to MVP 4. That was 2023. I want to say, like, is this the year he wins MVP? But that guy, Aaron Judge, is alive still.
Probably not going to happen. Well, so he's at 792 right now after hitting his 7th homer. And he's almost a one-WAR player when you're talking about a premium position defensively, too. I mean, right, that's the thing. Usually Julio shows up for the party in July. So, yeah, this is like him having a one daughter, 792.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's an interesting point, I suppose. It's an interesting point.
Yeah, Julio, this has been fantastic as much as we've complained about, some of the injuries and things like that. And then, Cal going on the slump there. Julio, man, starting off batting 261 right now. And now, I don't know, I'm not sure about the stolen base numbers, if that's really up to, on par. We just haven't seen him do it that much. Haven't seen him attempt stolen bases yet, but yeah, he's been great this year, and this was like one of the staples of what we would complain about or worry about every year going into since Julio's been here is he gonna start slow again?
Yeah, Julio is a generational talent, and I think that we put him on a very, really high pedestal expectation that he can be that MVP type player. And yes, he's gotten off to some slow starts, but has been an incredible player in the second half. So if this is finally, what is his 5th year in the league, and he's still 25, I mean, he's just learned so much over the course of his career so far, and you start to learn these lessons and figure out how to play 162 games effectively, how the league learns you, how you learn the league. And it just may be the best version of Julio we've seen yet. And when we think of the best Julio, we put MVP on it. So I'm not surprised that Plouffe and Rosie are already talking about it.
Yeah, you know what? We talked to him the other day, and it just reminded me of what a great kid he is, because he really is a kid. I mean, he's 25 years old, and he's been, and this is his 5th year in the league. So it's pretty amazing what he's done. He's had lots of pressure, and we've had people for the last 5 years texting in saying he is not a superstar. Julio is not a superstar. So, and he's gone to the All-Star game 3 times.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him be like in the race. Is anybody going to beat Aaron Judge though? I mean, if Cal couldn't, I mean, that would have to be a pretty amazing year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the things that put Julio over the edge are his defense in center, right? And you mentioned the stolen bases too. You add those 2 things, they're immensely valuable. So it'll be fun to see Julio put it all together, because I do also believe that he has MVP caliber stuff every single year, and I think that when he puts these stretches of baseball together, he's one of, if not the most fun baseball player to watch in the field.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, I know Wyman was probably already sitting in front of the TV watching this. It's his favorite show, MLB Central. Mark DeRosa and Alex Avilo were talking about the Mariners' rotation and how this current 6-man situation could kind of just sort itself out.
Like Bryce Miller's got to come out of the box throwing the ball great. No doubt. But I think over the next couple of weeks, those things works themselves out a little bit, whether somebody gets to get pushed back or, they've been, a little banged up in the bullpen. So maybe one of those guys pitches out of the bullpen, or they piggyback some guys for a couple of weeks. But
change
it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, you give the ball, you go on down the line and then see who's the hot hand, I guess. Joe Girardi said something interesting yesterday, because he was talking about the Yankees with all the starters and all the guys coming back. He said, you never answer the question until you have to.
Right.
It usually works itself out. Don't get ahead of it, make anybody feel any sort of way. I thought was interesting.
I like DeRosa. Left Coast Right. I do like watching that show. He does a good job. But, with all of the injuries to pitchers, because really the focus, at least the conversations we've been having, Charlie, is that the 6-man rotation is going to push one really good pitcher further down the road, meaning less starts as the season goes on. But it seems like the bigger concern is keeping them healthy. And is that really the balance that's going on there between going with the 6-man rotation or throwing somebody in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think the 6-man rotation it changes everything. I feel like as we talk more and more about it, it makes sense if the schedule was built for it, right? Like if the schedule was built to allow for a predictable schedule, right, that everyone was going to pitch on a predictable day, and it made sense.
Right.
But because you have, especially early on the season, you have multiple off days in a week, it just stretches guys out too far, and then it changes how you manage a bullpen. And I think that's the other thing too, is like you take one guy away from the bullpen, and it changes a lot of things. So I don't disagree that it kind of worked itself out, because at the end of the day, I think you need more weapons in the bullpen in terms of surviving 162.
All right, coming up next, we got GM Justin Hollander. Justin Hollander. That's a nice job there, Dave. Hi, how are you doing, Mr. Stanton? Good to see you. Coming up, GM Justin Hollander will join us live right here at Victory Hall. That's next. You're listening to Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Cal to the IL.
Cal can't get off the throw. A little slip. And looked like Cal hurt himself.
A right oblique 10-day IL.
Insight and analysis, including the latest from Mariners insider Shannon Drayer.
Cal is very hard to sit down. He tries to play through anything.
At seattlesports.com.
He has obviously been playing with a little something.
One person you will be looking at to pick up that slack, and it's Julio.
I think it's kind of Josh Naylor time.
And the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Hello, my friends. It's DeGraws here, encouraging you to golf local. Our region is blessed with a ton of golf that isn't very expensive and can accommodate all types of skill levels. Check out the premier courses at Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inter Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, or Walter Hall. Wherever you are in Western Washington, you're not far from a premier course. Why not book a tee time online or play Top Tracer at the range at Inter Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park? So what are you waiting for? Play the courses. Play Premier.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
We're going to turn you over to Mariners pregame beginning at the bottom of the hour before a 6:40 first pitch. Got some news from the Padres that on Sunday, Lucas Giolito will make his Padres debut in the finale of this series against the Mariners. We also got a Cal Raleigh update. We're going to get some more information from the man who joins us next, GM Justin Hollander.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, what a way to wrap up the show. Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman, and then some cool guests that we have alongside with us as well. Charlie Furbush and Mariners GM Justin Hollander join us now. Justin, I'm sorry, I had to miss the party. I've run back across the street, but I know it's a good crowd over there. You have some good people on the set with you, but I do want to kind of get started right away. I know you mentioned some Cal Raleigh news a little bit earlier. Can you just kind of tell us all what's the latest going on with Cal?
Sure. I can't believe you didn't want to come join us.
I wish I could have. I had to get a Hello Kitty crossbody bag. So
I would have changed my whole opinion of coming on if I knew, that it would be Charlie and not you. Cal's overall is pretty positive. The imaging showed similar to slightly better than it was on the 4th when this initially popped up. We're going to shut him down for a week. He'll get a shot to help the healing. Hopefully after a week, he's ready to resume baseball activities. If it needs a little longer, obviously we'll take the time it needs. I think the biggest thing is, he tried to play through this, and now we want to get it right and make sure that when he is playing in games again, he's doing so with the peace of mind that it's not going to feel something when he swings every once in a while. It's not going to feel a certain way. He's not going to feel a tinge of pain or a tightness when he tries to throw. So getting it right now, I think, is the right thing for him and for us. And hopefully we're talking about resuming baseball activities in a week or so.
How hard is it to get a guy like that to go on, the IL? Because, he's so tough, but, it sounds like it was at his own detriment, right? How do you turn on a fastball and rotate your body when it's not 100%?
It's pretty tough to get him to come out of the lineup, as you guys know. I will always remember what he did for us in 22 when he was playing with a torn ligament and a broken bone in his catching hand in the playoffs, and basically doing whatever it took. He was wearing like an entire roll of tape on his hand and had it crafted up in a way it was almost like wearing a cast to catch every game. I don't think anyone would ever question Cal's toughness, and I think this is just all of us, including him, being smart, taking a step back and saying we'd rather take 2 weeks now than have it be a month or 6 weeks or 2 months down the line, especially when it is clearly affecting him right now.
Yeah, for sure. And how important now when we look back at this Mitch Garver signing in spring training, this turns out to be. Obviously he's a presence in the clubhouse. He handles his pitching staff well. it obviously is out now going to fall on his shoulders.
Yeah, I think yesterday's game is a great example of what Garv can do, what his skill set is. I thought he did an unbelievable job calling a great game yesterday for Louis and the relievers. He was really prepared back there. He battled in the box. He took a walk. He hit a homer on a mistake pitch. We don't need guys to come in and think they're going to replace what Cal Raleigh can do. There's just nobody on earth that's going to go from that position and hit 60 homers in a season and sort of, be the middle of the lineup force that he is. But what we do need is guys who will guide a pitching staff through games, that can hit a mistake, that can make the other pitchers work. And we feel like we have two of them with Garv and Johnny Pareda joining the club, who did a good job with us earlier this year and did a great job in the spring, getting to know the staff, and really a great deal of trust in both those guys.
Well, Justin, were you then holding your breath like we were yesterday watching that game as Mitch had kind of that awkward slide? I know he said he was fine, but yeah, it certainly underscores how important he is. And how do you and Dan kind of work with him to maybe balance his catching duties? I know it's a lot to ask of someone to do a Cal Raleigh and catch almost every day. How is this split going to kind of work with Garver and with Pareda now?
We'll take it series by series. Obviously, Johnny's in there tonight, some byproduct of a day game than a travel day. I felt like the best thing for Garv was to get him off his feet. I don't think anybody's going to be out there 3 days in a row. I think that Cal is such a unique entity in the sport for that position. We get spoiled by the idea of, here goes Cal out there for the 4th or 5th day in a row. He's a freak, and there's just nobody like that, and we got to be smart. And I think all of us are on the same page with that. Dan, myself, Jerry, the training staff. So I think you'll see a true timeshare between Johnny and Mitch.
Yeah, give us a scouting report on Johnny Pareda. Just look like he's got a great arm, bat maybe coming along, but what do you got there?
Yeah, really good defender, really throws well, did a great job in spring training running a game with the staff, which is a hard thing to do when you're coming into, Mariners spring training. You've got a bunch of established pitchers, and you have a sort of an established pitching process that everybody's used to throwing to one or two guys that have caught them for a long time. He did a great job acclimating very quickly, establishing trust. Offensively, he will swing at the right pitches. He makes a lot of contact. That's his game offensively, is he'll make the pitcher work. He'll put the ball in play. Defensively, he's a real asset, particularly controlling the running game. He's a really nice fit on our club, and we're excited that if this has to happen, we have someone like that who can add to the team.
Now, another bright spot in this rotation, I think, going into this season is Emerson Hancock. And, obviously going tonight, it'll be fun to see him. It seems like he's taken a step forward mentally in his career. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think it's a great call by you. He's just very comfortable with who he is. He did so much work this offseason. He kind of, we talked to him at the end of the season about choosing a path. Do you want your arsenal to look like X or like Y? And he chose a path that he was most comfortable with. He lowered his slot a little bit. He's really changed his repertoire. We saw it towards the end of last year a little bit with some more sweepers, more four-seamers, lowering his slot a little bit. And he's taken it to another level this offseason. That's hard to do in a single offseason, is remake who you are entirely and be able to do it at the big league level. Do it at a level where you can't go out and sort of experiment around and figure things out. You got to compete night to night. Emotionally, I think he's in the best place he's ever been. He's very confident. He's very sure of himself. He's been our most consistent starting pitcher all year long, and really excited for him because you're not going to meet a better person than Emerson Hancock.
Justin, we saw the season debut of Bryce Miller on Wednesday. Looked very sharp. Luis Castillo had a strong outing yesterday. I know this is a good problem, but you have a plethora of pitchers now with 6 starters. What happens this upcoming turn through now that they're all back here?
Yeah, first and foremost, I was thrilled with the way both those guys threw the ball in Houston. Obviously, what was coming out of Bryce's hands was coming out hot. That was pretty crazy. I saw his last rehab outing in Everett, and it was coming out hot, but not even that hot. And obviously, you had the third deck and pitching at home, and to see the 97, 98, 99s on the board for the whole outing was really impressive. Really happy for him. He put in a lot of work this offseason, and there's sort of delayed gratification on his part to not be able to debut until we're in the middle of May. I thought he threw the ball great. And then obviously Louis had probably his second best start of the year results-wise. Really competed on the mound. He knew we needed length yesterday just with the state of where the bullpen was. We played the extra inning game the night before, and we're playing a reliever down, and there was actually 2 down yesterday because of Jose Ferrer's paternity situation. So he came out and gave us exactly what we needed yesterday. Going forward, Dan, Jerry have talked about this. We're going to piggyback those two guys. We haven't made a decision on who will start the next game and who will come in behind them, but they'll split the game up, and it won't be 9 innings and all likelihood between the two of them, but the bulk of the game they'll split together. They're going to do a great job with it, and my guess is this situation resolves itself over time, but if we are the team that's blessed with 6 really good healthy starters, that's a good blessing to have. They're definitely 2 of our 13 best pitchers, and we want to make sure that they can impact the game as much as possible.
Yeah.
It was a great reminder the other day. We talked to Julio Rodriguez, and just what a great kid he is. Yeah. Unbelievable. And just a fun interview, and a leader, and a guy that seems like he has the same character every day when he comes in. But what do you say about the start that he's off to? What do you think has been the difference this year for him?
I think he's really comfortable right now. If you just watch, the at-bat he had in the 9th inning on Wednesday's game, obviously we didn't win the game, but the calmness with which he took that at-bat to draw the walk to tie the game, I just think he's not in a hurry in the box at all right now. He's very calm. Some of the adjustments he made early in the season with his setup and making sure that he was on time and felt comfortable have really paid dividends early in the season. And you're right, Julio is just he's the same person every day. He approaches the game with joy. There's different ways to lead. Some people lead with intensity. Some people lead with joy. Julio approaches the game with who he is every day. He never pretends to be someone he's not. And that's a really cool thing to have at a young age. People forget how young he is, 25 years old. He's at a very advanced point in his career for someone so young. And I think he really does make a huge impact on our club with the way he approaches every day. And whether it's a win or a loss, you're going to get the same Julio the next day.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And now as we look down to Tacoma, I think there's a great baseball player in the Mariners' future in Colt Emerson. I know there's that date of when he arrives will probably be ever-changing, but what have you seen so far this season in terms of his advancement?
Yeah, really excited about what we've seen over the last week, 10 days, 2 weeks from Colt Emerson. One, he's getting healthy. His wrist was bothering him for a while. We talked about that a few weeks ago, and he seems to be in a good place. And just the looseness with which he's playing the game, particularly in the batter's box right now. His takes are really good. It looks like he's swinging the bat confidently right now. And I think as he gets more comfortable at that level, you're going to see him start to, produce at the way you would expect, even for a player who's incredibly young still. I don't know when the date is that Colt Emerson's going to come. We want to do the right thing for Colt and for the Mariners. But when he comes, we're confident he'll be ready to go approach the big league environment, as someone that is 5 years older, which is sort of the average age of a rookie in the big leagues is in 23, 24 range. Colt's just 20. If he came to the big leagues today, he'd be the second youngest player in the big leagues by a full year. I think right now Kevin McGonigal is the second youngest player in the big leagues behind Connor Griffin, and he's 11 months older than Colt Emerson. So I think when we bring Colt, we'll do it with an understanding of how young he is in his career, but also how mature he is, and make sure he's ready to take on the challenge of playing every day in the big leagues.
Well, Justin, I'll keep the prospect questions coming then, because another guy who has just torn it up, pitching again tonight, and I've kind of made it a holiday almost. I'm like, all right, Kate Anderson Friday, here we go again. It's been really fun to watch. But along those lines, with how well he's dominating at Double-A, what happens now with him? I know probably, again, a good problem to have, but how are you evaluating how you want to bring Kate Anderson along?
It's still very early in the season there. It's impossible to do more than he's done at this stage of the season. It is as thorough a domination of a level as you can have. We're gonna let him continue to do that for a while. There's lessons to learn in the Double-A environment as the weather warms up, as he faces teams second and third time, and they get to know what he can do and what he can't do. I think there's good lessons for him in there. We also want to make sure that we build him up in an appropriate way. I think he threw something like 120, 130 innings in college last year, but those innings ended, say, in June. Our goal for him is that he pitches a full baseball season this year, and that could run through September, that could run through October, depending on how it goes. So we want to make sure we're building his inning count and his pitch count game to game at an appropriate level, and making sure that we're taking care of him while developing him an environment that's conducive for him to have success. And when he's ready to take on the next challenge, we won't be afraid of it. But he's still got some things to do and some things to learn, and I don't think that makes him unique at all. What does make him unique is what he's doing right now from a performance perspective. It's impossible, like I said, to do better than that.
Hey, Justin, I think my favorite part of that series was the Astros. Well, obviously beating them.
That was my favorite part.
That's good. That's good. That's my favorite, too. I like winning. But the bullpen. because you're down some leverage arm. Spire, Brash, Ferrer goes on paternity leave, and then you have guys like Cooper Criswell step up. I mean, that was really incredible, and it has to be really rewarding knowing that you went out and got those guys as depth and that they worked out at the big leagues.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the next man up mentality that our guys in the pen have shown this year. You know, it's a big blow when Brash and Spire go on the IL. Obviously, the way the bullpens work, the same 2 or 3 guys can't pitch every day. That means some guys got to step up into roles maybe they haven't been asked to do before, or take it to a new level at a new level, like Nick Davila or with Alatapi. Those guys are just breaking into the big leagues, and they've gotten some really critical outs for us during this stretch. It's a credit to all of them. It's a credit to the coaching staff, Dan, Trent Blank, Pete Woodworth, Danny Farquhar, Austin Nola, what they have instilled in those players, which is like, hey man, let it rip, throw in the zone and take your chances, and they've really done it. And just it's a organizational win when you can have guys step into new roles, and we will be better for it in the long run. When Brash and Spire come back, we're not going to ask them to go get every out possible in the 7th inning. They're going to get the right amount of rest to make sure we can keep them healthy, with the confidence that Cooper Criswell can go out there and pitch to the top of the order, and Yordan Alvarez, if he has to. Nick Davila can go get key outs for us in the 7th or 8th inning, and Alatapi can do it in any of those innings and miss bats with the best of them. So that's a big win for us organizationally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And as someone that pitched in the bullpen, it's next man up. You are ready to go. From your perspective, Justin, how early do you start looking at, the rest of the league in terms of trades and acquisitions? Is that something that you're constantly looking at, or do you kind of wait and see how the season unplays and say, all right, well, now that we're really in it, do we make a move here now closer to the deadline?
Yeah, we're already looking at it now. Not with the expectation that we're going to make a trade on May the 15th or whatever today's date is, but I think if you wait till July, you're behind. There's really almost never anything to do in April from that front, but you still can't help yourself but look around and just start to, hypothetical theories. Would they do this? Do you think this is a guy that might be out there? Is this a need that we're going to have? And, those conversations are, I got a couple pings yesterday from around the league, just seeing what you guys are thinking. Once you get past the 40-game mark, that's really the first time that teams pick up the phone and just start checking in. And we'll do a lot more of that over the next 40 or so between now and early July.
Hey, Justin, getting back to the bullpen, Dave mentioned all those guys that were on the IL, Gabe Spire and Matt Brash, and we saw that Matt Brash pitched yesterday down in Tacoma. Looked great, had the 3 strikeouts in that 1 inning. What's the timeline for him now?
Yeah, they're talking with Matt today. He'll go out and throw on the field in all likelihood today, and we'll see how he feels, and we'll make a determination whether he needs another rehab outing or whether he's ready for activation after a rest day or two. So we'll have more info on that in the next day or so. It really depends on how he feels and whether we think he'd benefit from another rehab outing on Sunday.
I feel like Major League Baseball has killed it as far as going to the pitch clock. I think the ABS thing is awesome. Who's the best at that? It seems like Cal is really tuned in, but as far as like around the league that you've noticed or, on the team, is Cal the champ?
I think on our team, Cal and Garv have both done a really nice job. I think both were a little hesitant to start out. Do I want to use a challenge here? Do I not want to use a challenge? And I think they've gotten more aggressive, especially after the first 10 days or so of the season. I think Garv's success rate is up there with anybody in the big leagues right now. We're monitoring other teams in the league, how they do, when they challenge, what strategies they have to see what we can pick off that works for us or what we believe in and what we don't. Other teams that have done really well, Kansas City has been good at it. Minnesota has been good at it. There's different ways to measure it. There's sort of success rate and there's impact. The impact on run saving, a great example the other day is when Randy Arozarena challenged what would have been a strike 3 pitch. It turned out it was a ball. He stayed in the batter's box, got hit by a pitch. It led to a grand slam because the inning didn't end and we got more guys on base. Those are sort of like impact more than sort of, I guess, like the win in the yes, he got it right wasn't as valuable as the yes, he got it right, and then it led to these things. And we've had that a couple times. I think Cal challenged what was a bases loaded walk that turned into a strikeout earlier in the season when Luis Castillo was on the mound, and that's a run. It's a hugely impactful moment. So we're looking at it both ways. I think our lean is to be more aggressive than not, and to try and maximize the leverage challenges that you have. So runners on base, decisive pitches that can end in at bat, those types of challenges. You know, the 1-0 challenge in the first inning is probably not that valuable. Yeah. The 3-2 challenge in the 7th inning is probably really valuable.
Yeah, am I wrong? Was it Ref Snyder that challenged one, and then
St. Louis?
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. And then didn't he hit it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a 2-2 pitch that I think turned into instead of a strikeout, turned into a 3-2 pitch, and then he hit a sweeper over the fence to tie the game, or to give us the lead in the 8th or 9th inning. So again, those are the impact of those challenges go far beyond the sort of the success or not success of an individual pitch, and that's what we're really striving for, is to maximize impact.
Try to get as many wins as you can, absolutely. Now, how important has Dan Wilson been to this club? Because he certainly seemingly has such a good pulse on the clubhouse, understands what it's like being a former player, former Mariner. What do you think he brings to the table that people don't see every day?
Yeah, I think that one of Dan's special traits is that I think a lot of people in these roles, the players view the relationship as transactional. Like, I'm asking you to do this because I want to help the Mariners win a game. And I think that's always going to be part of it, is like we're looking to help the Mariners win as many games as possible. I think that only goes so far if you don't have a relationship with that person, if you don't know that they really truly care about you as a human being. And I think that's Dan's special gift, is that it's not just transactional for them. Like, he's invested in them as people, he's invested in their families, in helping them achieve their goals and their dreams. It's one of Dan's great gifts. I think he's a really good delegator to the expertise of the people on the staff. He's willing to step in when he needs to, but he's also willing to step back when he needs to. And I think that's a sign of someone who's really confident in their place in sort of the baseball ecosystem. And it's not about his ego, it's about what's best for the player in that moment. So he's a great listener. He really cares. He helps establish a culture of love and care, of grace and accountability. And that's a special thing. And I think it shows in how much our players care about each other and care about the Mariners.
Well, real quick, Mike, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we were just talking about Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the Seahawks, and how, he's probably in line for a $50 million, restructure. But,
You just blew my mind by just throwing that number out there.
Yeah, but I think, he's okay with it not happening this year. And it's because of all those things you just said. I mean, it's about, and I know a lot of people think it's corny, but it's not. I mean, if your players care about each other, and they all get along, and you've got a good culture and everything like that kind of stuff, that matters.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I think that whether you've played a professional sport or not, just think about your own job. Like, do you like your boss?
Yeah.
Does that make you want to work harder if you do like your boss? Does your boss care about you? Is he invested in making your dreams come true? Does he know about what's going on in your life outside of work? Is he interested in that? Like, does he yell at you when you mess up, or does he try and, tell you the truth in a loving way? Like, all people have bosses that they've worked for that they like a little bit more than or like a little bit less. And I think if you like your boss and you like your coworkers, you're likely to do a better job. And I think that culture, is something that we try to instill with the Mariners, is like, we want to have an environment that everybody feels proud to walk into every day. And sometimes that comes with love, and sometimes that comes with truth. But we never want to do anything to create a sort of a negative energy around the club.
Well, Justin, this has been great. I appreciate it. I might even make it over next time. But no, thanks for taking the time. Great conversation, great insight, and thanks for keeping those two sane over there.
You got it. You're out. Charlie's in from now on.
All right, there is Mariners GM Justin Hollander. Yeah, just a couple minutes left here, so we will put the wraps on this one. But yeah, Charlie, Dave, quick thought on this matchup. We saw this Padres team about a month ago. What do you want to see tonight from the Mariners?
Let's see a victory. I think, the Mariners obviously are in a really good spot at the end of the day. Like, think about where they're at right now, and things could be very different here come Monday, and they could be sitting in first place. So I think there's when you look at perspective of 162, where the team's at, you gotta look at it in a positive way. And I just hearing Justin say all those great things, and it really gives me hope that the Mariners are on the right track. And inside that clubhouse too, knowing that their captain is out, everyone's going to step up and say, hey, we got to pick up the slack here.
Yeah. No, those are all things, like I said to Justin, that sound corny, and maybe back in our day, Charlie, I don't want to age you like that, but, especially I remember it in high school, but, you're kind of cynical as an NFL player, and the older I got, the more cynical I became, and, You know, and I don't know, the older guys for the Seahawks, maybe it was because I didn't like who I was working for. I didn't like my boss. You know, that's what he just said. You know, do some different places that you work, you like your boss in some places, and others you don't, and that's inspiring when you do like your boss. So, yeah, I think both the Seahawks and the Mariners have that down. It sounds corny, but it's real.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see it in action. I know, Lefko, you're asking about tonight. I think Hancock is going to be the big show tonight. I think he's going to do some great things and build off his season that he's already doing. So, should be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was fun. A unique show. We did Mean Text at 4:15. We had Ryan Rowland-Smith in. Charlie was over there. Our thanks to Mariners GM Justin Hollander for joining us as well. Paul Moyer was with us as well. Yeah, Charlie said it. Big start for Emerson Hancock coming up. We're going to turn you over to Mariners pregame. Game 1 of the series between the Mariners and the Padres, and it comes up next year, right here on the Mariners Radio Network and Seattle Sports.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Woodworker, check. Metalworker or material handler, check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
People can see through if it's not genuine, and it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting, their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting, and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting. And they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Hello, my friends. It's the Graz here, encouraging you to golf local. Our region is blessed with a ton of golf that isn't very expensive and can accommodate all types of skill levels. Check out the premier courses at Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inter Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, or Walter Hall. You know, wherever you are in Western Washington, you're not far from a premier course. Why not book a tee time online or play Top Tracer at the range at Inter Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park? So what are you waiting for? Play the courses. Play Premier.
Bastaldi Construction reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Bastaldi Construction, your local reliable partner for roofing and construction solutions, online at Bastaldi.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.